Guys and gals, ladies and lads, welcome to 2025. Although you can actually see, so it's not exactly 2025 yet for us, but you should be seeing this in 2025 and in this completely original idea that we came up with. Me and Jeexx.
Very creative.
Yeah, very creative and very original. We're going to be talking about our favorite things of 2024 today. So, and in another very original idea, we've decided to make a 3x3 about it, or as you can see here, it sure has
technically
9 squares, but
it's 6x4.
yeah,
technically,
but I mean,
one of the rows for me has like 5.
I mean, I think,
don't worry about that.
The way you formatted it, I actually quite like. And unlike last time when we talked about music, I actually now think I know about half of these, I want to say. I'm very intrigued about the question mark. I think that's actually really cool, and I'm excited for that. But
don't be.
Do you want to just jump right to it, or do I guess? Do we do as we did last time, like guessing, going around?
Yes.
Okay. So we'll start from the top left, and I don't remember actually. Wait, that's not Silent Hill, the very first one, right?
That is in fact Silent Hill.
Oh, it is. Okay. I was like, I think it looks like the character there, but okay. And beside that, is that the golfing game that you stream
not
for?
A golfing game, but yes.
It is a golfing game, and you stream for. So I swear, in my brain, like half the time you were just playing golf.
It was a 60-hour RPG, guys. Okay. Alright.
But
I played it for 60 hours on stream.
I don't know who this very wide
He's wide because I wanted to put a fourth game on there, but I was like, I can't figure out a fourth game. I'm just gonna put
I mean,
I'm just gonna make Jack Wade this wide. He's now Jack Wide.
And Jack Wide is from what?
He is from a game called Headhunter, which is a game that released on the Dreamcast and was, I believe, a launch title for the PS2.
Oh, okay. So the first one about games, and the second one also about games, I think.
So the first one I would say is about games that like I've played before. Like I've played like almost 20 years ago, and I never finished.
Oh yeah.
Like and that I've now finished this year. Yes.
Oh yeah.
I finished Silent Hill 2 this year, and I finished Star Chronicle this year, and just right under Christmas, Blowtorch and I managed to finally beat Headhunter after like almost 20 years of trying and bouncing off of it every single time.
Hell yeah. But then we have what looks like someone's drawing of Zero Two who didn't have pink available. I don't know what that game is.
It's the game that I played almost exactly a year ago. Actually, not exactly a year ago. A year and 7 days ago. So 372 days ago. It's The Missing, J.J. McField and the Island of Memories, I think. It is a game by Swery. It's Swery. Yeah, it's not Suda. Suda is the grasshopper guy. Yeah, Swery. Swery is the guy that also made a game called Deadly Premonition, which is in my top 10 favorite video games of all time. And it has some Deadly Premonition specifically. It has not aged well. Let's say that. And The Missing feels like it is swears at showing that he is not a completely insensitive fool.
Oh,
but yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting, but also don't worry, we'll obviously cover this in more detail. Now we're just because I'm doing the guessing, like Jeexx is just giving brief explanation. And the middle one is mouthwashing, but one of the two like very sane looking people is inside a bag of milk, whatever the bag of milk thing was. Or outside of milk. Oh, it's,
The first one is inside a bag. Like
okay.
the first game in the milk series is inside a bag of milk, inside
Yeah.
a bag of milk, inside a bag of milk, and this is from the second game, which is milk out of a bag of milk, outside a bag of milk, outside a bag of milk.
The
It's very
the
important.
pink face.
The bottom left one.
Oh, the
From
bottom
that
left,
one
and the
is-
pink face is
is from Psycho Pump.
Psychopomp. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, the game where that made me feel ill and that made you feel ill. If you remember that I played on stream a while ago.
I don't.
That was a cool game.
I don't do well with
Very
stuff
good
like that. I literally I'll just briefly mention it's not on my 3x3, so I'll just briefly mention it. I finished Squid Game season 2 yesterday, which was good. I liked it, but it is definitely like that is on the border of like uncomfortability for me when it comes to like
I can't believe
media.
it. Watch Squid Game 2 and was like, yo, this shit is too wild.
No,
Is it like
it,
have you
like,
seen the
it's-
SpongeBob meme
No,
where
it's-
like Patrick and SpongeBob are like on the roller coaster and there's a really small bump and they just go like, "Ah!" and they start going down.
Okay, sorry, I don't watch fucking. Okay, I'm not gonna. I was gonna say
Devil May
something. I'm
Cry,
not gonna
baby.
say that word, but you can use your imagination for what was I going to say, but no. It like most of the time I find it has some scenes that made me uncomfortable, but I'm basically this is to say that I'm very squeamish and there's a reason why I don't do horror games ever. So
That is fair.
yeah.
That's fair.
But then there's also some like anime protagonist number 65.
It is from Signalis, a game that I actually
yeah,
played at the very beginning of this year.
Yeah.
Also, like as I mentioned, I played The Missing back in last year's December, but I'm kind of just rolling it over into this one because I wouldn't have been able to really mention it anywhere else. So,
That's fair.
yeah.
And then we have the anime Square,
Yeah.
which has
Oh, you want to say? You want to guess?
Refrieren, Dandadan. Is that Apothecary Diaries, the bottom left one?
Yes.
Then
Yes,
middle
it
is Gundam Witch from Mercury.
Yes.
Actually, wait, is that Scott Pilgrim versus the World? Top left.
Doobie Scott Pilgrim Takes Off.
I still know
The
anime. Let's go.
Yeah. The anime that was made for Scott Pilgrim last year. And I was like, wait, that came out last year? I swear I watched it this year. But it came out
Last year, as in 2023.
yes,
This is going to be
2023. My bad.
airing in
Sorry, guys,
2025, so we need to talk about some years because otherwise it's going to be confusing. But yeah, okay, I know all of those shows and I have seen none of them because I
Maybe
finished 0 anime series in 2024.
Maybe you should watch all 5 of these.
My
Back
plan
to
to
back to
watch
back.
is like 300. Okay, I will
Don't
say
care,
one of
just
my,
right
one of
now.
my New Year's resolutions is watch more anime. Which, to be fair, given that I watched like
0.
6 episodes of Daima, and that's literally I think all the anime I watched. Actually, did I rewatch Edge Runners this year? I didn't even do my annual Kuroko rewatch this year. But no, I mean I haven't watched.
He's getting cured.
I haven't watched a complete a anime series to completion this year, which is like heresy given my name. So I will do better in 2025. But
we're gonna just start calling you Fox for now on.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be fair, like when I've been getting called Weebs, I have said like if you're gonna call me a singular thing, I'd rather it be Fox because I think it sounds better. But people can call
Foxy
me
from the Foxy Pirates. Yeah.
I skipped that arc.
The worst character in
I
One
literally
Piece.
skipped that arc.
The worst character they have
skipped the
ever
arc.
added
Fuck
as
the
a
filler,
major
bro. I ain't
antagonist.
watching filler.
It's not filler. It's canon, bro. It's in the manga, bro.
Okay, well, I did also skip Thriller Bark, so.
Bro, skip.
I've played One Piece Pirate Warriors 3. I know what happens. Okay, I watched like the 10 first episodes, I think. I remember the lion dude like spying on Nami when she was showering. I remember Luffy like shoving the zombie back in the grave and some stuff. But I watched a little bit. I was like, I'm not gonna continue watching One Piece if I watch this arc through. I know what happens. So I'm just gonna
That's
get
fair.
right ahead.
That's
But
fair.
it's still heresy, I know, and I will pay for my crimes somewhere in the future. But anything you want to briefly say about the bro? These being the brief explanations. We've been doing this for 10 minutes now, but
I'm not gonna do brief explanation.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I knew all of
like,
this, so that's fair. And then install is
it's the fighting game tournament.
Yeah, it's the one square that we both actually share. We'll talk about that later. So yeah, and I literally, today when I went grocery shopping, I had one thought in mind when I was thinking about also like this 3x3, and I was like, the only thing I'm praying for Jeexx to do is put the wheel in the middle. I'm so fucking proud of you, man. It has to be her. And
it has to be her.
I don't want to talk about anything about it here. It's genuinely so much fun, but we'll talk about it later. Then Baldur's Gate 3 gets its own.
Yes, Baldur's Gate 3 gets its own.
It's
fair. A game. It is the game that outside of maybe Final Fantasy 14 here, I have spent the most time playing.
Mm-hmm. Then we have Alexander.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 14, a raid that, let's just say, I've been seeing a lot of GIFs, and you've been going into the mines quite a bit.
Yeah,
a lot this year.
Look at this video.
Mm-hmm.
It's a banger video.
Show it here. Let me full screen this shit. Let me show it here. I think I have this on my playlist, this song, actually.
And lose!
I'll give it up. I like them also doing 2024 plus.
Exactly. It's because the actual joke is because he's a time traveling god, so he wins.
Okay, well, we're not gonna cover Final Fantasy 14 lore here. If you're here for that, well, you're in the wrong fucking place.
Yep.
And I'm guessing this picture is from Germany.
It do be from Germany. It do be from the Black Forest where I went on a hike with Jojo.
It's a very pretty looking picture, and
it's very compressed. So
yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna comment on quality. I have some compressed ass shit on my tree budget as well, so don't worry about that.
The 3x3 generator I was using keeps upscaling them using AI, and I just hate that.
You were using a generator?
Yeah, there's a way where you can just put all of them super easily in there. So I just figured, fuck, I'm just gonna do that. But like every time I do that and I press, I'm like, fuck, these are generated. I'm just gonna screenshot all 9 of these so they're super compressed and it looks like shit.
I did my shit in fucking Microsoft Paint, baby. We in the trenches. But then finally,
to be fair, I made the top 3 images in Paint Tool Sci.
Fuck yeah,
we're even.
That's what I love to hear. But yeah, so final is the question mark, and I feel like there's a reason why it's a question mark. I'm not even gonna guess. We're not gonna talk about it, and instead, let's get to it and actually cover the thing, So
I'm gonna speed run the first one because the first one is the one where I felt like, well, this is here because like I kind of wanna mention that I've played Silent Hill 2 and Dark Chronicle for, like all the way through for the first time because those are games that I have thought about a lot growing up, never having finished. And then there's Headhunter, which is a game that has always haunted me as a kid because I never managed to beat it, and I never had when I actually first gained the ability to properly read and understand English, I was not interested in playing the game. But it's the kind of game where you play it as like a 7 to 8 year old, and you don't know what the fuck is happening because you're like, what the fuck? What do we do? I don't understand. Wait, how do I? And then you don't find the answer ever because you don't know how to read. And then on top of that, there's like actual novels worth of documents you gotta sift through to find some lore that explains certain solutions to puzzles and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, as a kid, that was impossible for me to beat. But that's like the main thing here is Dark Chronicle is a really cool. I think it's level 3. I think it's level 3. I have the cover here right now. Well, not for
you have the physical.
It's level 5. No, I have a game by the same company. I used to have.
I mean, obviously you have because if you streamed it, you obviously own the game, so you know.
Yeah. But yeah, level 5. They managed to make a game that feels like I guess the simplest way to put it is mid 2000s anime perfectly. Like when you
Yeah.
play that game and you look at that game and listen to the voice acting, it's like this. You just put on like a screen and you say this is CG anime. Someone will believe you. Someone will
It
definitely believe
is a like the game looked very neat. Like I obviously saw you stream it a lot, and
you.
I could never play a game like that, but I can definitely see the appeal.
It was a fairly fun game. The like the weapon building and whatnot in that game is something that has been in the back of my head for like
Not
12, 13, 14 years. Like whenever I think of like a weapon upgrading system, I think of that because it's so janky and weird at points, but it also like it feels really satisfying when your weapon is slowly build up and they eventually become like max stat monstrosities that don't one shot basic enemies, but sometimes do. But
you think of that and not the Gaussing?
no. The golf thing is the worst part of the game to me. I hate it so much.
Yeah, I guess that's why it sticks here in mind. But yeah, so Square One old games.
I want to mention about Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill 2 is a game that I have a fondness for, mostly because of the fact that, like, as a kid, I never had access to the game. Like, when I was, like, 11 to 14, I played the original Silent Hill, which I happened to have, and I didn't have access to a PS1, so I just played it on an emulator. Well, actually, I had access to a PS2, but as I found out when I tried to play the game on my PS2, that game that I owned was, in fact, an illegally pirated game. So the next best thing was illegally pirating the game on an emulator.
Oh,
So I did
which
that.
we do not promote here. 'Cause
We do not
obviously
condone.
You,
We do not condone.
You should.
I was given.
Not, I mean, we would never emulate like
never pirate games.
And when we stream Pokemon, like I'm streaming.
It is
my Nintendo DS. Obviously, that's why you see the two screens.
It's a legitimate cartridge used on a legitimate system. In my case, it was a legitimate copy of Silent Hill 1 that was played on an emulator, which is legal and allowed for
that's
preservation purposes.
Yeah.
For all legal parties involved, this is not legally binding or legal advice.
Legally.
Legally. But yeah, Silent Hill 2, a game that has occupied a lot of my thoughts when I was younger because I tried to actually think about video games and think about art and think about stuff after I played another game, which is not on here because it's a whole different discussion. But yeah, Silent Hill 2, good game. Headhunter, don't play it. Dark Chronicle, play it. That's about it.
Shout out Theme of Laura, because that's a banger.
Yep. Bro, I actually just found out about it this year. What the fuck? I can't believe.
I mean, the only thing I knew about Silent Hill before was the fog and the hills sure are silent and Pyramid Head, and that was my. Actually, wait, are there like super creepy fucking like brown nurses from Silent Hill? Resident Evil? Okay.
Yeah, the ones with the fat tits, yeah.
Okay, and
the tight
we're
miniskirts,
moving right along. So
there's a reason. There's a lore reason why the nurses have big tits in Silent Hill 2 onwards. In Silent Hill 2, it's because James is sexually repressed. Anyway.
Well, poor James.
I'm glad we went on that talk. I'm glad you found out about a lot about Silent Hill there.
Yeah. Anyways, moving right along. After the 5-minute speed run of the first square, I can't wait for this to be 3 hours. The second one, which is, I guess we'll call it new games or
new games. Yeah, games that
you discovered.
Like The Missing is a game that I was supposed to originally play like 6 years ago, and when I played it, I thought to myself, "Wow, I'm kind of glad I didn't play this game 6 years ago." Because I don't think I would have been able to properly appreciate it the way that I ended up appreciating it, and I wouldn't have, mostly because of I hadn't played Deadly Premonition right before that, and I also probably would have been a lot more closed-minded almost 7-8 years ago at this point.
Yeah, because we were very young at that point, and we're not old, and we're not.
I am definitely feeling old.
2050.
Yep. But yeah, The Missing is a game that I would not recommend people play, mostly because of the fact that it is a very janky game that does not really feel intuitive, and it's not exactly fun, and it's not exactly a pleasant experience in any regard, because the gameplay is not the coolest or the funnest, but it is a game that I'm glad to have played. I know this isn't really speaking high praise for it, but I think the narrative itself has something going for it. And if people are interested, they can look into that more.
I mean, that's kind of like recommending like some really unpleasant media to people. I think like a movie I hear talk about that like is what the fuck is it? A Requiem for a Dream.
Oh yeah.
Which is like
I've heard this a lot
or something, and it's like apparently like something like super psychologically like fucked up shit. So it's like stuff like that is like okay, I don't recommend you watch it because it's gonna fuck you. It's like, are you gonna recommend someone to read Oyasumi Punpun?
Yes.
Well, that makes you
don't, but do.
That's like
read
recommending someone to play League of Legends.
Okay, but League of Legends is a creature of chaos that causes harm to the human soul without any benefit.
Than read Punpun.
Okay, so Mahjong is a source of suffering, and you should not do it. Okay, and League of Legends is the same, but Punpun is like solidified suffering that you can experience without it directly affecting you because you're not experiencing the thing that gives you the suffering. You're reading through and living through, which is different. It's different. Playing a game of ranked is worse for you mentally than reading Oyasumi Punpun.
Okay, when I say you should play League of Legends, you should not play ranked. That's for psychopaths and people who hurt people.
Yeah, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, all of these 5 things here are kind of have some heavy subject matter are in some way disturbing to people. So please be advised that some people might not like or might not
like
enjoy
the
this.
lightest out of these, and it's not exactly no. You know. You don't think so?
Technically, milk outside of bag of milk outside of bag of milk is less fucked up.
I guess the like art style in it is what I think makes it creepy for me.
So Signalis has a lot of things.
I guess we're
gonna Signalis now. I'm just gonna jump to Signalis. Yeah. Signalis is a survival horror game that is viewed from a bird's eye angle. Like I don't even remember what the perspective is called. I think it's like not 2.5, but like isometric. That's another word for it. But it's a survival horror game that takes a lot of cues from Resident Evil and Silent Hill specifically, and it combines like a futuristic area that is slowly descending into what is essentially madness caused by something, which you navigate through using a character called Elster, or I think it's LSTR8. I'm not 100% sure right now, but like that's the model number. You are a robot and you are looking for someone. And the whole game's premise is you going to places to search for that someone and experiencing things that don't make sense, to be honest, to you to you as a character and to you as a player. These things are happening and they don't make sense. There's only one thing that you know you need to do, and that's what you're heading towards. It is a love letter to classic horror games, and I would highly recommend anyone that likes the combat and everything else that exists in those kinds of games to try this game out.
And to someone who only experienced it through a Jeexx stream on a second monitor, it's like Ghost in a Shell, but you're punching zombies, and I've never seen anything about Ghost in a Shell.
That's the furthest thing from Ghost in the Shell, but in a way you're not incorrect. Yes. You're not incorrect in a way. Because Ghost in the Shell, like Ghost in the Machine is a kind of a... we're not going to talk about dualism or anything like that here, so let's just go along and talk about... Let's just go from Signalis to Milk Outside of Bag, Milk Outside of Bag, Outside of Bag. It's a game.
You always have to say it like at least 3 times.
It's Milk Outside of a Bag of Milk Outside of a Bag of Milk. That is the name of the game. That is the actual name of the video.
And when I talk about Rainbow Six Siege, I talk about R6.
No, it's inside. I'm forgetting. It
was inside.
It is outside. No. Inside is the original one, and outside is the new one. Yeah, never mind. Yeah.
And then people complained about the naming conventions of the Attack on Titan seasons. Fuck you.
But this is made by like one guy. It's a video game made by one guy.
That has one guy named it. Anyways, let's talk about the game.
It is a point-and-click adventure visual novel-esque game where you try to help this girl orient her thoughts in her little room, which is very disorganized. It's fucked up. to put it lightly, the girls' living quarters are kind of fucked up, and the game is fairly cryptic. Like, you click on a thing and suddenly your whole ending is fucked. You need to now reload your entire save to redo everything. And basically you find like things around her room by interacting with objects of interest, like her PC, like her bed, like her balcony, and all that kind of stuff. And you get endings depending on what you interacted with, how many things you interacted with, and if you got specific like cutscene interactions that might trigger a bad ending kind of thing. And then at the end of it,
how many endings are there?
I think there was 5.
Okay.
Not
too bad.
It might be 5 or 7.
Okay.
Either or. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5, I think.
Okay.
No, cool. Second death is separate. The second death is the thing that actually kills you. Good night is the ending, I think. So yeah, 5. And they range from being surreal to being absurd to being nightmarish. So
they range from being weird to really weird to fucked up weird to what the fuck? Yeah. It's like, okay, well,
things like the main character spawns in a world. Actually, I'll explain like one ending, which is the default ending that I got by just collecting everything. Yeah, there is an ending where the character, in her dream, when she falls asleep, ends up going like up a spiraling staircase that is on like a brown, massive tower, and there's a billion other similar ones as that tower everywhere. And I think she can hear wailing everywhere. Like there's people crying everywhere, and she just keeps walking up and going up, and it never ends. So eventually she starts walking down. And as you might expect, when you're walking downstairs, there is a certain thing that can happen that you do not wish to happen. She falls down. And that is where the dream ends. She jolts awake. She sees the sky, which is a thing that I'm not going to elaborate on. She sees the sky, and things kind of happen.
But no, another umbrella scene. But no, another.
No. See, that's not. Let's forget about another. Another is like schlocky as fuck, man. Holy shit. Oh yeah, no, none of that. There's no umbrella to fall upon. There's no eye to pierce. It's dream sequence.
Oh, it's eye?
Oh, yeah, I think it's. Oh no, it's the throat. Yeah. I keep thinking it's the eye because like. No, is it the stomach? I'm pretty sure it's the throat.
I mean, I've never fucking seen it. It's a horror anime. I ain't watching that shit, bro.
Oh, true. I forgot.
I saw it in one like top 10 most gruesome anime deaths that also had some blood sea or whatever the fuck the name of the weird ass show was that scarred me for like weeks. And after that I only watched top 10 anime openings of summer 2016 and videos like that.
Fair. Yeah, I would recommend anyone who likes visual novels or like short, sweet games to play Milk Cat Soda Bag of Milk and Soda Bag of Milk, but also maybe consider playing. If you don't mind the creepiness, it's not that bad. And then you could also play Milk Inside or Bag of Milk Inside or Bag of Milk before you do that, because it gives some context to the player character, not the player character, but the girl character in Milk Cat Soda Bag of Milk. You know, it's kind of important to understand what you're actually like dealing with.
Now go back and listen to that sequence about the milk game, but every time Jeexx says milk, take a shot.
Don't do
that, actually, because you will die.
Shot of milk.
Shut up, milk. Hell yeah.
Your bones will thank you. We do not condone alcohol.
Yeah, bro, no alcohol, no emulators. Bro, we're taking away all
We're squeaky clean, baby.
Well, yeah.
Then we have...
Anyways.
Mouthwash. Which is a game that I have finished less than a month ago, and a game that I am still... allowing to gestate in the back of my head to form any kind of coherent thoughts about. Overall, I think the narrative is like strange is a good way of putting it, but like the narrative itself is about a very selfish man and his egotistical choices leading down to what is essentially the worst possible scenario, all because he himself is the worst person you could ever meet. That is all.
I can't put much input here other than I heard a lot of people talk about this on Twitter, and when Jeexx streamed it, that window was suspended. I was not trying to look at that shit, bro.
It's not even scary. There's not even that many scary things, man.
I'm good, man.
Visual. Also, like I haven't really talked about them. Mouthwashing visuals are like the pinnacle of the PS1 style visuals that people have been like striving towards. Like Signalis has that too, and I would say that Signalis is a different like branch of it. Like it's the peak of a different branch for it. But
Yeah, for sure.
man, I'm a sucker for PS1 visuals because I technically I grew up with the PS1, like not more so than the PS2, but the PS1 is more ingrained in my memory in terms of graphics and how big the leap from that to PS2 was than like thinking about PS2 to PS3. And yeah,
Actually, don't know if I ever. No, I did play. I was gonna say I don't know if I ever played any PS1 games, but no, I did play the original Digimon Rumble Arena. That game fucking slaps.
longer game.
But yeah,
But yes,
and then
Psycho Pump. This is out of all out of all the 4 games that I played this year, this is the one. Like I played Psycho Pump, Mouthwashing, a Milk Outside a Bag of Milk Outside a Bag of Milk, and Signalis all this year. And Psycho Pump is the second most recent one, and it's the one that made me be like, dude, I should try to get someone else to play this game. Like mostly because the fact that like Psycho Pump came out in October, and there wasn't really much coverage for it. Most people didn't play it. It's one of those weird games, and I like described it to Cloudy, a friend of mine, as the kind of game that if it came out in early 2010s, it would have so many people on Tumblr trying to figure out what the fuck happened, just have their brains in a knot, and there would be people kinning. I think it's kinning Pompey here. Like there would be people kinning Mercury. There probably is, but like this is the kind of game that I feel like has a similar staying power. Had a similar staying power back in the early 2010s, as not quite Homestuck. Homestuck is a different beast entirely. But like it could have had its own fandom. It could have not been as big as Undertale either, but like somewhere in the like
I don't know.
primordial soup.
Maybe I'm crazy because I've never really been on Tumblr, but calling something essentially a Tumblr game does not really sound like.
I'm not saying that it's. I'm not saying that the game itself is a Tumblr game. I'm saying that like there are things in Psycho Pump that would drive people to play it and be interested in playing it, and there would be people that would want other people to play it to get their feedback on it.
Basically, the Undertale effect with like similar like impact, I guess.
I think the biggest like weakness for Psycho Pump in that regard is the fact that it is not as easily digestible as Undertale. It's not quirky, it's not wacky, it's not cute. It's fucking grimy and filthy and disgusting.
Papyrus guy talking about spaghetti.
No sans there to go like I'm a bone joke, but no. It's Pompey, and Pompey is walking through some fucking hellscapes, and Pompey's just smiling the whole time happily.
The picture you chose, I think, conveys.
And then there's like stuff like real world tips, which is explaining like a weird, bizarro alternate history that doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
It's cool. Like there's a lot to love about this game, and I would recommend that anyone who enjoys anything that is mildly horror adjacent to check out Psycho Pump. It is free. Psycho Pump is free to play, but Psycho Pump Gold, the game that has an extended epilogue, costs about I think 10 euros. I checked real quick.
That's cool.
But I would highly recommend that everybody check this game out and give it some visibility, and maybe it'll get somewhere. Yeah.
Cool. So those were the games you discovered this year, and that's 2 out of 9 squares, and we're 34 minutes in. So
I'm gonna speed run through the anime. When I said speed run last time it was 5 minutes, but so.
But yeah, let's talk about anime.
Let's start out. Actually, like now that I'm thinking about it, let's start with Witch from Mercury because it's the cheapest and the sweetest to the point. I don't even remember where I saw it. I was browsing memes, I'm pretty sure, and people were posting images of Suletta and Mirin. I was like, "Oh, that's cute. Where are these characters from? I've seen them before. I have no idea where they're from." And then I decided I was gonna watch the anime. I watched it together with JoJo, and then eventually, when I got to the scene where the art I had seen like was referencing, I got spoiled on the ending of the first season.
Oh,
through a cute piece of art. Yeah, that was like, funny. Oh, like not spoiled, but like it was like, oh, this piece of art was like a direct reference to the end of the first season, and it was kind of funny.
That's pretty funny.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
but also like talking about spoilers here, I guess better get this out of the way. I don't know about the rest, but Freeren and Don are two shows that I'm almost 100% sure I'll watch at some point. So
mhm.
I mean, I don't mind if you like talk about obvious some
Oh,
story beats. You're probably not gonna spoil any of these anyway. Like
I'm gonna
major
be
spoilers.
honest.
So, huh?
Even if you had watched the anime, you would have to say like no spoilers. 'Cause obviously, they're here as anime because they came out as anime this year. But
Yeah.
I have read all 4 of the series that have manga here, outside like Witch from Mercury, which was the manga came out after,
Yeah, I
and
was
I
gonna
think
say
the novel
like I
came out
think
after.
that was an anime original. I remember
Yeah, most
hearing you
Gundam
guys talk
series are.
about it as a like
Yeah.
actually, hey, we have good Gundam again. I think that's how I heard it.
Hell yeah. And then Gundam heads themselves are like, this is shit.
Yeah, because it's like it's very I have heard like it's obviously
It's
very
for
different.
it's entry level. It's for the people who want to get into
Yeah,
Gundam, and then it's not at all Gundam for like 12 episodes, and then it becomes Gundam, and it's like, wait, this isn't the series that I was watching. What the fuck happened? And yeah,
and then
I'm not gonna go
there's
into.
me who has only watched the Build Fighters Gundam series, and I
It.
fucking love them. They're
Hell yeah,
sweet, bro. They don't have
yeah,
fucking war tragedies like the other shit.
yeah. They don't have Gundam in them. Yeah.
Shut up.
You know, there's a meme where like there's a Gundam, and the Gundam is shooting like over a guy's head, and the guys go like, "Wow, cool robot!" And then above the guy's head is a like space opera about the terrors and horrors of a war, and how it damages
Hmm.
all humans involved, and how
And that's
racism
traditional Gundam for
isn't
you.
a good thing, and like how child soldiers are a bad thing, and all that.
Yeah, I know it's very political, but if I'm trying to watch politics, I'll watch politics. If I'm trying to watch anime, I'll
Uh,
watch anime. Anyways,
That is fair. Then let's talk about the 2 others that I don't need to really be careful about spoilers for. Not that there's much to spoil for Apothecary Diaries, or
picture your page is very cute.
I chose this because I was like, there has to be one that is good for Mao Mao, where I just have Mao Mao's face, and this was the best one.
That's fair.
She's voiced by Yuki Aoi, who is possibly one of my favorite female Japanese voice actors, if not my favorite. Right? She voices Okita Soji in Fate, and she voices Diane in like Seven Deadly Sins, which is where you have probably heard her. She also voiced the idol girl in Build Fighters. You have
Yeah,
heard her in that, and
I'm bad with names, but I do know her.
yeah, she also voices Evie in Let's Go Evie.
Hell yeah.
Banger, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, Apothecary Diaries is a series that I've been reading as a manga since like 2014, 2015. I just randomly ran into it on one of my very, very legitimate legal manga websites that host legally.
Can we get
available
one
manga.
square without Jeexx doing crimes?
I never do crimes, guys. I played all the games in the middle square legally. Okay,
I can't
bought
wait
all of
to
them.
hear about his story about the install. Yo, yeah, when actually when you went to the bathroom, I fucking beat a guy to death. It's like, oh right, well, awesome.
Fuck. Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways,
It's about a girl in like I can't say the exact time period, but it's in China. It's she gets taken to a palace where she has to work as a girl, like a service girl and whatnot. She has to do menial chores because she was sold off by some bandits that joined her. There's a lot of like stuff in the whole story where I would say that like she is a Mary Sue to a degree, where she has the uncanny ability to solve things that just should not be within her wheelhouse. But there are times when they at least show you that she's doing something to kind of justify why she can do these things. But yeah, she's a cute character overall. There's a lot of other like fairly likable characters in that show, like Jinshi, even though he kind of comes off as a smarmy prick to begin with, slowly becomes less of a smarmy prick and becomes a more of a tolerable character. And I don't remember his name right now, but the eunuch that is supposed to serve Jinshi, he's also a cool guy. He's a fairly chill guy. But I would recommend you check out Apothecary Diaries. It was animated by Toho Filmworks, I think, and it is very pretty at points. There's points where it looks kind of ugly, but there's points there where it's very pretty. Every single episode, I think, has a different director, and there's some episodes that look vastly different. When I say vastly, I mean like if you put the characters side by side, they look different. But like when you're actually watching it, you might not notice it.
I was gonna say because the or style of the picture that you pick, like looks very different from what I've seen. So I guess that explains it.
That's one of those cutaways because Mama has a tendency in the manga to just have like moments where she goes gremlin mode and she
Hell
just
yeah.
grows cat ears and a cat tail and goes off and becomes a gremlin. It's good. 10 out of 10 gremlin.
Cool.
Would recommend.
I'm
Then we have
currently have your avatar next to her, and it's like the semblance is uncanny.
Okay. Yes. But yes, then we have Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, which is a animated version of Scott Pilgrim versus the world, I would say, but like Scott Pilgrim, the graphic novels, is what it's actually animating. And I will not say more than this because anything else I say can be used against me in the spoiler court. So simply, if you have seen the movie, if you have read the graphic novels, watch this.
I know he fights some exes. There you go. There's a spoiler.
Yes, that is a spoiler. That is a spoiler for Scott Pilgrim, the graphic novel, and Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the movie. Yes, that is correct.
Cool. And then
Then we have. I mean, I think I'm gonna. Yeah, Fearin is probably easier to talk about here. So Fearin is the series from the end of last year and early this year, where people were super excited about it at the time that it was airing. It is currently the #1 series on Mal
I was
by
just
rating.
gonna
It's
check.
not.
Like, is it still there?
It's kind of crushing it, and there's been a
FMAB
lot of people.
fans are big
Yeah.
sleep, huh?
There's like a bunch of people coming out of the woodworks going like, it's just a generic battle shonen. I don't know why you guys are saying that it's nothing else. And it's like, yeah, there's an exam mark. Yeah, good for you, but nice observation, my friend. Good work. You have done your due diligence by watching the anime. Great. I'm glad you put 2 and 2 together. Very glad. But like that's what it is at its core. It is a action series with slight bits of slice of life interspersed in there and moments of actual quiet. And I think people are underselling the actual moments of quiet because I don't think Frieren is popular because of the action. I think Frieren is popular because it managed to balance these things in a way where it feels satisfying to have both, because the big issue with a lot of action series is you
In
have
betweens.
no peace and quiet. Dude, One Piece went from the most recent arc in manga to the next one so seamlessly that they went from one action scene to the other.
That's kind of OD.
That's shit. It's so bad. It's awful to read. But regardless, I'm not going to rant about One Piece. That's a whole different discussion for a whole different podcast when you've caught up.
I'll say one thing about One Piece is I went to check, and you're indeed correct. Frieren is #1. One Piece fan letter is #3 of all time on Mal.
Yeah, I haven't watched that
Holy
yet. I'm going to check it out.
Yeah, I heard very good
Eventually.
things about it, but it's just one special episode that's like 22 minutes or something, and that's it. It's #3.
That's crushing it.
That's crazy.
They're fucking doing it, yeah.
Cool.
It's really impressive. I hope the series, when it makes a comeback this spring, manages to actually like achieve even higher highs. But yeah,
But
then we have.
I mean, it's impossible to be in the anime sphere in any regard and not like having ever since it came out constantly seeing stuff about Frieren, and probably for a good reason. And I'm definitely gonna watch it at some point. And it's for other reasons and not just the Frieren feet scene.
Oh, you mean the scene where she has the potion and she goes like, and has the grandma face?
I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, that's a good scene. Yeah. I understand why you would want to watch that scene.
I think there was also about her feet. I just basically
No. It's literally the same scene. It's in the same scene. That's the joke.
Oh.
I'm trying to save you, bro.
Cool.
I'm protecting you.
Anyway, she gets stuck ass up in some chests. There's your spoiler.
Hell yeah.
And then Dandadan. Speaking of stuff that
I recommend for
as an anime fan.
So Dandadan is reaching like people. I've seen people get upset about Dandadan and calling it like the new JoJo fan. Same with like Baldur's Gate fans. They're referring to these people as being super obnoxious. But I feel like the reason why Dandadan popped off is because first off, it's bombastic as fuck. It's got really smooth animation. It's pretty as shit. You want to know what other series is pretty as shit on this? Like grid thing, I guess.
All of them.
Well, yeah, all of them. But like Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. Want to know why? because it's animated by the same studio.
Yippee!
Want to know what a sad thing is here, by the way?
Let's hear
Scott Pilgrim Takes Off isn't on my anime list. Why? Because people are like, it's not an anime. It's not. It's
fucking
Western
Pingo
property.
goes to the city
Bro,
there at one point.
It's still there, by the way. It's still there, but like it's animated by the same studio as Dandadan.
I don't think.
What is the justification?
I don't think Ruby is in here other than Ice Queen though. Oh, fucking what? Wait, Ruby is in here?
Like, what is the justification that Scott Pilgrim Takes Off was not on that?
Ruby has a manga that was published in 2015. Okay. Anyways.
Yeah, it's a tie.
Interesting. But yeah. Dandadan.
Dandan looks very pretty, is very nice. I've been reading it since the manga started. I would highly recommend you guys check it out before you start spouting out any opinions from any kind of YouTubers, and before you even watch any YouTubers possibly impacting your opinions of it, because I genuinely think that most people that are watching it either go into it completely unaware, or with they're either completely unaware or super influenced because they've seen it everywhere, and the super influenced part is kind of a shame because there's people who don't like the part where they're being overexposed to something. Like I haven't watched Trash Taste in like a while, but has Joey watched Dandadan?
Probably not. No, wait. Yes, he has. Or at least last time I heard him talk about it, he said like
that's impressive.
He was caught up and he really liked it and it was worth the hype.
What? That's impressive. I'm happy for Joey for finally getting over himself.
Jeexx actually tried to keep the beef going, bro. We don't need another. We don't need another Kendrick Drake for 2024. We have one beef is enough. We don't need Jeexx and Joey one-sided beef.
Wheeler or some shit. I don't even.
But yeah,
Bazinga, I think is his name.
Dandadan, I'm not gonna give the spoiler for because the only thing I know contains the R word, and I'd rather not. The only thing, the only scene that I've seen about Dandadan having that is I'd rather not talk about that.
Wait, which scene are you talking about?
I don't remember the context where I saw it. It was probably on TikTok with the caption, people are calling this pig skull emoji crying emoji, and then there's someone talking about R-wording somebody else.
Oh, a classic, yeah.
So
that's banging anime.
Highly recommend. There's the anime square.
Yippee. Then we have install.
I
think we should skip this for now and wait until you get to it.
Yep, okay, that works. I was gonna say like we're now at 48 minutes.
Yeah, I'll just explain what the wheel is.
Yep. Talk about the install with 3 sentences, and then we'll get back to it when we go on mine.
I had a good time going to Helsinki. I spent time with Weebfox playing fighting games. I went 2-4.
Yippee!
2-6 actually, because I lost 2 games back to back.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, we'll get back to install in mine. So now let's talk about what all of us, me, have been waiting for Jeexx to talk about. Let's talk about the wheel.
The wheel is a monstrosity that we constructed at the beginning of the year to give me ideas for things I could do on stream, and it has now grown to it grew to a size where it eclipsed any kind of text on it to a point where you could not possibly tell what was like anywhere. And when you try to spin it, you just gotta trust. You just gotta trust you don't hit one of the bad ones. There's horrible things on there.
There were
like League of Legends.
800 entries.
I think it was 800, yeah.
Something like that. It started as a joke, but we just ran with it, and it ended up being actually a really fun and interesting content piece that also got you to do stuff that you were going to do anyway and helped the decision fatigue, I guess.
Yeah, it kind of just got me there. Like, we have 586 entries on it right now, and we've done about, I think, 120. And of those 120, we've actually completed like 40, and some have just been outright like, this doesn't work, this has been vetoed, this I'm gonna put off because I don't own it yet, and so on.
Yeah, and
So eventually there will be a separate wheel with all those.
yeah, and we did hit ARAM in League of Legends with Weebfox, and we did it.
And
So hell yeah.
we stay winning.
We stay winning, and we stayed winning for actually too long because I had an early morning the next morning and I was fucking dead. But
Hell yeah.
we did
was a good
great.
time.
So yeah, it was a good time. And I'm still waiting for the Borderlands co-op speedrun.
We haven't had it.
Other stuff. What was I had one more. Oh yeah, but there, like, to give you an idea, it's literally like Dark Chronicles was on there.
Yeah, Dark
right?
Chronicle. No, Dark Chronicle is on here, but the reason why I played it was because I was playing something that I got off the wheel, and then I was like, oh, but this is a sequel. I'm gonna play the first game first.
Oh,
And
yeah,
then
yeah, yeah.
when I was in the middle of playing the first game, one of my chat members was like, hey, play Dark Chronicle. I was like, okay. I dropped everything. I had my PS2 emulator like booted already. I had it
his
like
PS2. His PS2.
my PS2, yeah, my PS2 was ready, and my physical copy of Dark Chronicle was ready. So I just like put it on, and I was like, "Yep, we're good to go."
We actually have made a felony with all of these except install, which we skipped through. That's insane.
No, we haven't. What do you mean?
But yeah, there's like everything from like stuff like that to what it was like. It was like
in the mirror.
what it was like watch
There's-
all of like something where there's an insane amount of content that is not like feasible, and then there's like I think there was Guilty Gear Strive OST Smash or Pass.
Yeah.
Like it's shit that doesn't make sense because it was literally like when he was constructing, like the chat was just like typing anything. It's like, okay, just put it in there.
If it can make sense, we will put
it. Glue. It's like, okay, sure, bro.
Yeah. Like one of the more recent ones that we got was Mean Mog in the mirror for like an hour. I just didn't know.
Oh yeah, wait, there was also Teach Them a Lesson. That's one of my favorites. There literally was Teach Them a Lesson.
What did that
I don't
mean?
remember how we ended up interpreting it because you did teach something.
I taught something. Yeah,
I
don't even
remember.
remember.
Just teach them a lesson. Like,
and then there's
the wheel is an entity.
The wheel is an entity. I think that's the best way to put it. Yeah. There was also get hired at Supercell, which is like, bro, how the fuck do you think I'm gonna get hired at Supercell?
Like shit like that. But it's like that's what made it like so fun because like there was so much like weird shit, but like a lot of it was like still feasible to do, and it was like just like the like, was it gonna be fucking the Lion King game for the PlayStation 1, or was it gonna be
the SNES one?
SNES, sorry. Or was it gonna be Smash or Pass every Fate Go servant ever? Like that's the spectrum you're dealing with, and that's what makes it.
There's
fun.
also read the Finnish Declaration of Independence.
Oh hell, yeah.
That is one. Like there's some insane.
Yeah,
shit.
like it's...
Azure Lane versus World of Warships power scaling contest.
Dude. Like we could go on and on. It's basically this is the best. Like the wheel is the best possible ad to tune in on twitch.tv/Jeexx to see whatever spins. Like, and always when Jeexx has kind of like done the stuff like there are 10 spins, so it's very infinite. It's not just a microdosage of dopamine. Like you get 10 spins. It's better than going on Vegas, is seeing whether or not Jeexx spins League of Legends or drink glue on the wheel.
Oh, there's also the Dojin tier list. That's kind of banging.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you can think about it, it's more likely than not on the wheel.
I'm kind of scared about that.
That's...
Unranked to Challenger League of Legends.
We could go on.
Literally,
we could talk about the wheel for an hour. So
let us move on. The wheel is beautiful. The wheel is love. The wheel is life. The wheel is Shrek.
Yes.
You can put any kind of qualifier after that.
Shrek is probably somewhere on the wheel.
Shrek is in fact on the wheel.
Yeah.
Only make sure it's there.
Yeah, like this. It's an enigma, and you shouldn't try to understand it, but you should tune in to Jeexx streams every Sunday to find out if we're spinning the wheel.
I have not streamed. I have not streamed like at all this December.
I mean that's fine. Oh, well, we'll talk about streaming. Let's just say that there might be something about streaming on mine that also has to do with you streaming. So we'll we'll get back to
Alright,
that later. So let's talk about Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's Gate 3 is my most played game right after Final Fantasy 14 this year. It is a game that I have spent many nights up until like 5 a.m. playing together with Jojo, and it's been a good time. We have spent quite a bit of time trying to get through everything that is interesting about the game, and I specifically I was playing it on my own for a while, like about 40 hours, and then eventually Giorgio asked if he could watch me play because he was interested in seeing things that he hadn't seen in his playthrough, which he had just finished at the time. So we ended up I was just like, "Well, you can just play with me, why not?" And we ended up making him a character, and we've just gone through literally every single thing that I could possibly go through with his help as well, where he's like, "Oh, there's a thing here that you missed. We should go back for that." That kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's been a good time. It's been a really good time.
It's literally just D&D the video game, but the attention to detail with stuff. Even to someone like me who's probably one of the least interested in D&D people on the earth. Like roleplay is cool. I can't get into it, so it's like, and it's turn-based combat. Like this game it's very story driven, very character driven. Like this game is the like antithesis to everything I like about games, but yeah. I can still like say, because my friend was streaming when it initially came out. Like my friend was streaming it a lot, and it is just it's really fucking impressive. And there's a reason why it is like they have one of the highest player count. Like a game like this, not being a multiplayer game, having one of the like highest player counts on Steam is pretty impressive. But also just like how consistently it has kept up a good player base is really impressive, and just the amount of content there is.
Also, big note: recently official mod support. It's really nice. It's really handy. That. Very good upgrade. Very nice. Good community support. Final Fantasy 14 lost best community this year to Baldur's Gate 3, and I think that's deserved because Final Fantasy 14's community has not been very good in the past 2 years or so. But that's a point that we can talk about some other time, because the next part is about Final Fantasy 14, but not entirely.
Yeah,
like it's not about the entirety of it. But yeah, Baldur's Gate 3, really good game. Big recommend. I would definitely say that it's one of my favorite games of all time. And if I do end up redoing the top 100 games of all time list, it would probably sneak its way to the top 10 at this point, eking out Deadly Premonition.
But not beating out League of Legends, because no game can do that.
League of Legends is so far down that I don't even remember.
You are just a hater, and you're bad, and
it's
you're
funny.
You're not making it out of bronze, and that's why you're putting it down.
So Final Fantasy 14 is at the top spot because it's my most played video game of all time, right?
Yeah.
But League of Legends is my second most played video game of all time.
My
it's like
most played game of all time.
Something. Yeah.
But I mean, I also kind of in a similar way, I feel like you hold a lot of why you hold Final Fantasy 14 so close. Like League is the reason why I know like half the people that are some of my closest friends. So
yeah. And League is the reason why I don't know 90% of the people that I used to know.
Yeah, I guess
so it's kind of the complete opposite.
Two sides to the same coin, but
yeah,
we're not going to talk about League now, and instead we'll talk about the other game that we just mentioned.
It's the perfect segue. So Final Fantasy 14 is a game where you play with people, and you don't just treat them like they exist because you have to play with them. You treat them like they're people. There's not 4 monkeys. No, that's not part of this. But there's not 7 monkeys
and now
on your team
Jeexx
that you have to deal with.
On the RP community of Final Fantasy 14. That's another felony. Actually, there were no felonies in Baldur. This is why Baldur's Gate 1 no felonies.
I have to say in the most recent, like few of the most recent sessions, actually like 5 sessions at this point, there was a moment when I realized that I had a dead rat in one of my storage containers, and I just like picked it up and I put it on my bed, and I've been sleeping next to a dead rat the whole time. And
the crazy thing is, Jeexx is not talking about Baldur's Gate 3, and he's talking about his actual bed.
I'm not Asmongold. Gonna start beef with Asmongold too real quick.
Oh god.
Hell yeah. Stay winning.
Anyways, what do you want the segment to be called? It's just Perfect Alexander.
Let's not. I mean, we could just call it Perfect Alexander. Why not? Alex Sweep. Alex Sweep.
Alex,
Actually.
okay. I'll
Alex
give it
Sweep.
up. Let's call it the
So
Alex sweep.
this is more in reference to the fact that I've been raiding quite a bit this year. I've been raiding more than I did last year.
Yeah.
I currently raid 4 days a week, except for like obviously Christmas time and whatnot and other like complications. But at one point I was raiding like 5 to 6 days a week this year because the current Savage came out. But we like the static that I played with, that I started playing with like 2 years ago at this point. We beat Ultima Weapon Ultimate together.
Let's go.
Oh, yeah. We beat Ultima Weapon Ultimate, and then we eventually transitioned into playing like other content together, and then we started doing the Epic of Alexander team. And this is like this fight is super fun. It's super cool. It's got super cool visuals. It's genuinely really rad, and I had a really good time doing it. And we got fairly good at it overall. Not like actually good, but like persistent at it, which was fairly impressive for our standards. And then we eventually transitioned into doing Current Savage together, which was very, very fun. We did all of that blind. We had a good time. And then we started doing a new Ultimate this year. But basically, this is more like a stand in for that static and everybody else that I've played Final Fantasy 14 with. I could have put everybody in here, but like I felt like Alex, you know, if Alex can win the best Final Fantasy 14 antagonist for each year, every single year, forever, I think he can win this specific slot.
Every Final Fantasy 14 related slot.
Yeah, every Final Fantasy 14 related slot will just be Alexander there.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Shout out.
This is more just about the people that I played.
Jeexx group.
Yeah, they're good people. Good people.
Cool. And they RP a lot.
No, they don't. None of them do. From what I know.
The moment you log off, it's to the cat casino.
No.
To the Catboy Casino. Let's go.
I mean, honestly, going to the Catboy Casino would be kind of based. After everybody else is logged off, they just go to the Catboy Casino and they just don't talk about it. What happens in the Catboy Casinos? Stay in the Catboy Casino.
Oh, that's perfect. And speaking of Catboy Casinos, you cannot find them in Germany, but what can you find in Germany?
You can find very pretty old cities such as Tübingen, Heidelberg, and there was one more, but I can't recall the name right now. Tübingen and Heidelberg were the two that really stuck out. Tübingen being like one of the oldest cities, I think, in Germany. Oh, and Constance too. Constance, that's the other city I was thinking of. Constance being also one of the oldest cities in Germany, and one of like I think the oldest university cities in all of Europe. Like genuinely, the architecture and everything in Germany was so different, like in these specific towns, to anything that I've seen in Finland, that I was sort of like blown away by the sheer variety and the fact that some buildings were practically like tilting at a 70 angle. It was terrifying at points. And like, you know how in movies like from the Mediterranean or something, you see buildings that have enough space between them where you can walk and there's like a weird alley?
Yeah.
That's not something that you have here. That doesn't exist. Alley don't really exist.
It's not a thing in Finland.
Yeah. But like there was in Tübingen.
Oh. No,
like, alley and pathway.
Oh,
it was
okay.
really cool.
We're back.
We're back. Oh, I'm lagging.
No, I cut off for a second, so I got scared we lost you. But yeah, we're back. No, it's perfect.
In Tübingen, it was there was a lot of like alleyways and pathways you could take. It was really pretty. It was really nice. There was a lot of places you could just take it easy, and there was a really cool castle as well. The same. Heidelberg wasn't exactly like that. There was still a lot of like winding paths and a lot of like alleyways that you could go to. There was a really cool castle there as well, which is like a thing that exists quite often in Germany. Like a city just has a big castle. Yeah, it's kind of impressive.
Not too many of them in Finland.
Not too many. Yeah, I think like 3, 4 that I can think of. Actually, there's way more. I googled this at one point. There's like 20.
Oh, really?
But
I was gonna say like
a bunch.
I literally was gonna say like 3 or 4.
Yeah, there's like actually quite a number of them. They just don't really get talked about because they're not either still standing in the same way that you can
I guess.
explore them. But
yeah.
But yeah, like it was a great time. Like we went on hikes and we saw a bunch of really cool nature as well. Like generally the place that we stopped at, where this picture is also from.
I mean, it looks like
Yeah,
super
like
sweet
it
spot.
goes from here to a small pond,
Yeah, I was
and there was
just
a
gonna say
moment.
like, is that like a pond or a lake that you see
Yeah,
the not river? Fuck, what's it called? Like
stream.
the
It's a
stream?
stream.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna like puro, but yeah,
Yeah.
I couldn't go.
Like this was also really nice because there was like a pool of water that was slowly trickling down like a couple of rocks that had a slab on it that you could sit on, and we ate like breakfast there.
Oh,
It
that's
was a
sweet.
cold morning, and then like when we went to wash our hands, the water was so fucking cold,
Yeah, I mean,
and I
I
got
can
jump
imagine.
scared.
Oh,
But like Jojo was like, "Oh yeah, this is perfect bathing temperature." I was like, "Oh wow, that's kind of surprising. Crazy that the water is this warm, this far up, and this far away from the sun." And when I went to wash my hands, it was freezing fucking cold.
oh yeah. Speaking of her breakfast, you ate a lot of like different foods there. I remember your
Oh yeah,
basically your like food vlogger journey because you had a lot of pictures of like like super varied stuff that you ate there.
yeah. I can't really name most of them, but like I had a really good burger there. That's like the first thing that I have to mention. It was one of the best burgers I've ever had in my life.
I was just gonna
But
ask
there
like, what
was
was your like single favorite thing that you ate there?
ooh, what was my single favorite? Kinda actually leaning towards the burger because the burger was just like it. Hmm, I could have had another one of those burgers right after without missing a beat. It was
Hmm.
also like I don't remember what was it, like Cordon Bleu or something like that. It was pretty good, but
Isn't
I
that a
it
cheese? Gorda blue.
yes,
Okay, yeah.
it has blue cheese on it. It
Mm,
was good, like it was really good,
mm,
but I don't think I would have been able to eat another one.
gotcha.
And I also had like a bunch of really cursed foods as well. Like I had a fairly bad margarita pizza and
Ah.
some. We had a thing called a brizza, which was a pretzel pizza with
Oh,
vice versa on it. And guess what?
yeah.
It wasn't bad.
I mean, bro. I mean, I fucking love pretzels. I'll say that much. Like fresh pretzels, I can destroy probably like three. I'll have
Yeah.
terrible like stomachache after, but bro, pretzels so good. Because sometimes you have those like um blanking on another word, markkinat. Oh, fucking.
Mar- I don't really know what you would call the thing that actually happens. Like,
I did not just. I just fucking put Google in my Google
I
server.
mean,
It just market, I guess.
yeah, because
Yeah,
like
hard.
market
I
refers
guess.
to the actual like market, but like the thing that you're referring to is the event that takes place in a marketplace
Yeah,
where
yeah,
everybody
where they
collects and
like occasionally
gathers.
have like world foods and stuff like that. I guess
Yeah.
like world food
Oh, fair. I
market.
guess
Fair. Oh
a
yeah, I guess
fair
fair
works.
works like world
Yeah.
food fair or stuff like that, where like occasionally like uh okay, I was gonna start beef because obviously we have
Oh,
the
oh,
Festival of Light and the authentic German hot dog, which bro,
starting beef with the
it
Germans. I
was.
see.
I mean, bro, you had felonies in most of these, and now you haven't. It's only been like very positive here, so I have to start some beef. But I mean, it was there was nothing German about the hot dog. There was almost nothing even hot about that dog. That shit was ass, and it was basically just a scam and a robbery. But I, I'd be very surprised if those people were even from Germany that ran the stall. But
Would
yeah,
not
like
be
if there are two
surprised though.
things that like from Germany that like I heavy fuck with, it's their sausages and pretzels. I fucking love pretzels, man.
I can completely understand that. Like the fresh pretzels from the bakery, because there's a bakery right next to where Jojo
Oh
was living,
hell,
so we could
'cause-
just get fresh stuff.
yeah,
Yeah,
any
that
like
was
German
nice.
baked goods probably like absolutely awesome.
Yeah, but I must say that probably my actual favorite food
Mm?
was a lasagna, like a vegetarian lasagna that
Oh,
Jojo made. It was so fucking like out of all of the things that I had there, the first thing like that comes to mind is burger. But then after I was looking at the pictures, I was like, damn, I could go for another batch of that lasagna right now.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good lasagna is very good. Final thing we need because we need some negativity here. What was the worst thing you ate?
The worst thing. We went to a pizza place where that was like super expensive. It was like an extremely expensive pizza place. Like pizzas cost like 18 to 25. I got a salmon pizza, which was it was a creamy pizza with cheese on top, with salmon and with tomatoes. And I ate that, and it was so hard to eat because it was so rich because it was mostly just like cream cheese and salmon, and there was just like 2 or 3 cherry tomatoes. It was horrible. Like it was good for the first 2 bites, and when I had the cherry tomatoes, but I would not recommend anyone eat that because it's just not feasible to enjoy it all the way through
Describing
because your
all
brain just
American
goes like no.
foods.
Yeah, and also we ordered I ordered a Sprite while we were there. Jojo ordered beer. He got a regular beer, but I ordered a Sprite and I got a 0.25 centiliter glass bottle of Sprite for
And,
€7.
Jojo's beer was probably like a huge fucking
Regular size.
jug. Because okay, because I was gonna say like Germans and their beer, like. Yeah.
But like, it was so little, and it cost like 3 times as much as a like single full bottle. It was
Jesus
awful.
Christ.
I hated it. That was an awful.
Yeah,
experience.
I guess like the pizza was like whatever, but like the experience was terrible.
Yeah.
But cool. Like obviously awesome that you got to have that trip, and awesome that you had a good time there.
Yeah.
And so,
Shall we leave the mystery as a mystery for now and talk about your thing?
oh, you want that to be?
I mean, I can pop it in right now if you want. But as I was saying, I hope you had zero expectations.
You know what? Honestly, we can leave the final square to after we go over mine. So, let me pause the recording because I need to take a piss because it's obviously been over an hour. So, and it's probably not gonna take like as long for me because I can go past some stuff faster, but I have the tendency to ramble sometimes. So no promises. This will still end up being like 2 hours, but that's fine. That's what we expected. So I'll pause the recording for a little bit, and then we'll be back with my 3x3, and we'll revisit this and find out what Jeexx's question mark is all about shortly after. So we'll be right back. And we are back, and flashbang warning in 3, 2, 1. Because white space, because like I said, I did this on Paint. But here's mine, and the corners are like my 4 honorable mentions, and we might as well do the same thing so as we did with yours, G. So I'm guessing most of these you probably can figure out pretty easily.
Let's
start with the honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions. So, Persona 5 Royal, a game that streamer here, Weebfox, says he liked quite a bit, and he was streaming it, and he was hoping that it would make him play a story game all the way through.
I will still continue.
It did not.
I will continue it.
Okay. And then I don't know if bottom left is something.
Yes, it is. There are 4 honorable mentions. That's one of them.
I'm just a small guy. I'm just a tiny little fella.
It's
I don't know.
It's my favorite meme after Uganda Knuckles.
Okay, just a tiny fella.
It's just like there was time when like every other post I saw on TikTok was something with this like which is basically like someone is trying to do something, and then like the person who's trying to do something, it's variants of this tiny hamster. And like it might have a headset on when like its team is shouting at it because it's trying something, or like it could be literally anything. And it was such a flexible meme template, and I thought it was very cute, and I very much enjoyed it.
Okay,
but then like this, I hope you get this one. So top right.
The top right one. So the top right one is the amount of streams that we did this year, both of us, I think.
Yes, both. Yes. When the Twitch recap came out, somehow, some way, both me and Jeexx had a total of 69 streams done in 2024, which is like just having 69 streams, like just overall, is like, bro, how the fuck? Both of us having that when it's literally like one dude who is, okay, every Sunday we stream, and the other person is like, you cannot get a schedule out of me. And both of us happening to have exactly 69 streams.
I think
Funny as hell.
To add to this, I also had 59 distinct days streamed. So I had 59 days where I was streaming this year.
Mm.
But this means I had 10 times, like 10 separate instances
Yeah.
where my connection got cut off for long enough where it counted as a separate stream.
Hell yeah.
It's poetic.
It's just poetic. But yeah, I guess since I explained those two, I'll also talk about P5R here, like really briefly. It's a, or more specifically, Persona 5 was a game that I was thinking about for quite a while, which like, cause I do not like turn-based combat. I'm not the biggest in story. Like, it feels like, other than the style and the music, it feels like a game that I wouldn't really enjoy. Other than like when you think about it, it's essentially the combat is essentially Pokemon, so that's kind of up my alley. But I never thought I would enjoy or play a JRPG. And this is the game that made me realize maybe I can enjoy a JRPG. It's been a big commitment, and obviously, like I said, like my streams are very haphazard, and P5R streams are stuff that I want to then be able to stream for a longer period of time. So there was a time period when I was doing it like relatively frequently, but now it's been quite a while. But I do want to get back to it, and this is a game that I want to finish at some point. But then
be sure to tune in twitch.tv/Weebfox for his bi-yearly Persona 5 Royal stream. And maybe in 2038, 2038 might be a generous estimate, 2042, to finally see him boot up Metaphor Refantasio.
Geez. Okay, well, we'll worry about that later. But yeah, bottom right?
Bottom right is a racquetball.
Paddle.
Paddleball. Yeah.
Essentially, it's tennis on easy mode, and I literally played it for the first time 2 days ago. We have been talking about it to go give it a shot with my family. We finally went, and genuinely, I had a really fun time. Honestly, I just miss doing like sports and like group activity sports. I miss doing that anyway, but like genuinely, probably even with only having played it once for a bit over an hour, and obviously like not knowing anything going into it, I can already like comfortably say like I could very much get super into it if I kept playing, and probably alongside basketball and volleyball, I would already put it as maybe my favorite sport up there, because genuinely it's just I don't know how else to describe it. It's you play with 4 players. I think it's easier tennis, and it's genuinely a lot of fun, and it's very easy to get into. So hard recommend on paddle. But yeah, those are the honorable mentions. So then what's on the actual list? Do you wanna go through
Top
that?
left. Late night gaming with the boys on League of Legends, Dead by Daylight, Rainbow Six Siege.
Basically, I mean, I have kind of 2 squares that kind of share something about it, but the clock is there. I guess it kind of distracted into a different way, but I kind of put it there. Maybe a calendar would have been better. It's basically me realizing I have like some games that I will just always go back to. Like I'll like new stuff, but like stuff like League, stuff like Siege, stuff like DPD. I could also have like stuff like Borderlands or Payday 2 in here, but those I didn't play that much this year, so that's why I chose those 3. So it's basically the, like stuff that like realizing that at this point I feel like it's gonna be hard for a game to come out which would be the same as like some of these games that I just keep going back to time after time and enjoying. But also like all of these I do enjoy with friends, but I'll spoil a little bit. There is an entry here that is about that.
Okay. Like the main reason why I was thinking that was because it's like 10, and I was thinking, okay, so gamers get home late, and you play games late with the gamers that get home. Okay, that would make sense. Okay. But then the rest are fairly self-explanatory, aren't they?
Pretty much,
Destiny 2.
Yep, Destiny
Ludwig.
2. The final shape happened, and Into the Light was probably some of the basically some of the highest highs ever in Destiny happened this year, but we'll talk about more on that later. Ludwig, yeah. I don't know. People probably know Ludwig. I'll explain why he's there later, but yeah, that is Ludwig Ogren.
One of my favorite Smash Brothers professional player.
My favorite pop player. Yeah.
Install 2024.
Yep. And
Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising.
Yeah, we'll talk, like we said, we'll talk more about Install, but also I'll explain why specifically I chose Grand Blue as the background for it.
Then YouTube content Sparking Zero on YouTube.
Yep, it's the middle one. Basically, Sparking Zero has been just another thing that I've done now semi-consistently alongside the Yu-Gi-Oh, which is neat. But I also made a community post about this, which is just I think overall 2024 has just been on the 13 years that I've been obviously very semi-regularly, not semi-regularly, haphazardly making content, but I have put content on YouTube for 13 years, and 2024 I think was definitely my favorite, with a lot of reaction stuff, the finale of Tekken 8, just overall the Tekken 8 story stream, one of my favorite streams to do ever, the reaction to the ending of Destiny 2's Light and Darkness saga. I think that's my... some of the super old Dark Souls stuff is more popular, but that's definitely that's my best video that's actually also gotten a decent amount of views. But just overall a lot of reactions to stuff that I actually care about, which is why what I also think I named the playlist where some of this stuff is, alongside Sparking Zero and doing the series on that, obviously Yu-Gi-Oh going strong, having multiple fun streams, the P5R streams are super fun to do. Even the recent VTuber song thing stream that we did, I don't know, stuff like that. I feel 2024 had just been I put a YouTube logo in there because I think I'd definitely be more active on YouTube this year, but it's overall just 2024 has been just the content creation highlight year for me thus far.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Then
Marvel, baby.
Yes. Not much to explain there other than I definitely became a Marvel fan this year, and there I'll talk about the two things to do with it.
Rivals and Squirrel Girl, I see.
One of those is right.
Okay, I see.
And I guess I should have picked something else because it's just Smash Ultimate is what it seems here, but specifically tournaments. I played very little Smash myself this year, but 2024 had some of, if not just best Smash Ultimate tournaments that we have ever had. Throne 2 was amazing. I can't recall all of them, but Throne 2 was amazing. I think the start of year Luminosity makes moves, or what was it still Let's Make Moves, basically there have been if I was basically, this was an entry that came up when I was going, because I was thinking of what happened earlier also that I was thinking about, and I literally went on my on Twitter and I just sorted by time, and I just looked at, okay, what have I actually tweeted about in 2024? And basically any time frame I look at, there was always a bunch of stuff me talking about a tournament that was going on and really enjoying it. Despite the meta, super late Smash Ultimate meta that we're in with stuff like Sonic and Steve and Game & Watch, I still think 2024 had some of the best tournaments that there haven't been in Smash Ultimate. And I don't know actually if the rankings have come out yet, but if my GOAT Spargo finally got ranked number 1 for the season as well, that's just icing on the cake. And
yeah.
About day and time. But then, yeah, there's
Deadlock.
Yeah, and Deadlock is what I was talking about earlier when it was gaming with the fellas, because I feel Deadlock was the starter with when now we've been more actively also playing in in a bigger group again. But I feel like Deadlock was the game that made like multiple people that I hadn't really gotten a chance to play with for a long time to actually come around, and most evenings like we just got a group together and played Deadlock. And also I just think the game is just really fun. Like I haven't played it now for a little bit because I've been playing other stuff and also being busier in general. But I generally think like the game is actually a lot of fun and has a ton of like skill expression and really fun mechanics. And then finally, probably the hardest to
talking to people.
yes, literally just talking to people. And this is I mean partly just like having these like podcast segments that we started pretty late, but like these have been a lot of fun having the like group together again, like to just game with. And also like my favorite course in university ever was this year, which was basically like most of it was just like a bunch of like different people from like all of us like teacher students, but different lines of teaching. And most of it is just like a lot of collaborative stuff and just talking. And it has been like my favorite course that throughout the university ever. And 2024 was the year when I realized that I had always thought of myself as an introvert, but I think I am not an introvert, and instead, I definitely get energy from interacting with people. And I think like this was the year when I coined the term, which I refer to myself now, that I think I'm a shy extrovert.
I can't believe this guy was appropriating the term introvert for all these years. What the fuck? Can't. I kind of get that. I totally understand that. Like, it's not like a simple, I guess, divide between either being extroverted or being
Yeah.
introverted. I think it also depends on the people that you're spending time with, how you're spending time with them, and like how that energizes you, for example. Because there's some people who, for example, might never feel exhausted if they're spending time with someone while doing a thing that they like. But if they have to spend time with someone when they're not like engaging in that activity, it might be draining on them.
Yeah.
Or it might be that a specific person, for example, is somebody that they enjoy spending time with so much that it doesn't drain them, and so on and so forth.
Yep.
So yeah, I can totally see that. Like I being a shy extrovert or even like a outgoing introvert, both of these work. Yeah.
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 But yeah, let me do you say something clever for like 10 seconds?
I mean, fellas, I'm gonna be honest. Fate Grand Order just started having its like not anniversary, New Year's event, and there's a bunch of really weird videos that came out that are like, wow, there's a lot of noise going outside. Oh, what the fuck?
Oh,
There's
people
like people
started
shooting
with
fireworks
rockets now.
outside.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But yeah, there's like a bunch of really weird commercials that they made for FGO, and these are kind of cool. But at the same time, like, why did you? What is the point? Couldn't you just have like put the money into the game instead of making these? Might be upset, but that's a whole topic, a whole different topic entirely.
Awesome. I decided I instead actually put the topics in here now, and I'll stamp it after. So keep talking because I'm really bad at talking
Okay,
and writing
okay.
at the same time. Give it a little bit
So
more. Thanks.
next season, there's gonna be for anime specifically. There's gonna be a few series that I would highly recommend that people keep an eye out for. One of them happens to be Apothecary Diaries season 2, which is coming out. There is also Sakamoto Days, which is another manga that I've been reading since it started. It's a Shonen Jump series, so that already should temper people's expectations slightly. And then there's also a new Fate series, which has had its like prologue released a while ago. For Fate Strange Fake, which is based off of the light novels written by the person who wrote Bakano and Durara. I would recommend people check that out. Gilgamesh is like the quote unquote main servant in that. Not really the main servant, like Richard is more of the main servant because it's the saber, obviously. But Gilgamesh is there, and Enkidu is there. There's a couple of really cool servant designs that haven't really been like present in anything else, specifically because the author was like, no, you're not fucking using my characters for your shit. and he just kind of held on to whatever characters he designed for a really long time, up until now, where we finally got Richard Lionheart in FGO. Richard Lionheart being Saber, obviously. Very obvious, isn't it? And he's
Nice.
like bombastic as shit. And on a different note, tomorrow happens to be Genshin's New Year patch, I think, where Mavuika comes out, right? There's been like a bunch of videos about like either as like promotional material for her or people just talking about her. And they made like a music video for her, and the music video's production quality is fairly fucking high. Same with it.
The special like what's his face? The special event, I guess we'll call it, that had like the web event thing for her. Like the art that was on there was sick. Like I love that.
Yeah.
Whoever did the art for that did an amazing job.
It's pretty like generally. I feel like this is the massive launch for a character, which is something that hasn't really been a thing from what I've seen in Genshin. Like even when I think of Farina is just like a normal character in
Yeah, not
Genshin,
to
and then
this degree, like definitely.
yeah,
I think.
and then Mavuika comes out, and Mavuika's like, sure, she changes the HUD. She works entirely different to every other character in the game. She doesn't have the resource that every other character has. She has a thing that makes it possible for her to traverse any areas without much difficulty. And it's like, what the fuck?
The end all be all character, but
Yeah.
I think I'm good to go now. So
Okay.
let's actually. I mean, I feel like for a lot of these things, like I actually talked about quite extensively, but I just wanted to make sure I had very like short like speak notes on everything. So
You had notes.
I mean, it's literally like, for example, the middle square. I
notes.
literally have my note for that is Sparking Zero content creation. Like that's it. It's basically just talking about so I remember what I'm talking about. But for the first one, like I said, like it's about like the old favorites and basically like realizing that I at this point like I have these games where I have invested a lot of time in and also like fallen in love with, and basically like as long as they will be around, like I'll probably have times when I'm not playing them, but I will always go back. Like I don't think I'm gonna quit League of Legends before Riot Games like takes it out back and shoots it in the head. Like I think I'll be right there. Like I'll be next to it and they can shoot me in the head while they do it to League. Like
I think that's like a fairly common like phenomenon in a way, where some people just kind of find a game that they like enough that they just keep playing it either over and over, or it's a game that live service game and they just keep returning to it. For some people, it's World of Warcraft, for
Yeah.
example, and for some people, it's old school RuneScape. They're playing a lot of other stuff here and there, but then they eventually always return to the thing that they were having a good time with when there's like a lull in stuff that they're interested in. I think like Oni does this to a degree. Well, with Oni, it's more like he jumps from 3 games that he likes a lot to like between those.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
not 3, but like
I kind of
usually like
have
2
that as
games and
well.
then a
Because
third.
like right now, for example, it's like I'm playing Siege, I'm playing Sparky Zero, I'm playing Dead by Daylight. Sparky Zero obviously being the new hotnet, but it's still like for example, like now I'm like okay, I'm back on the Dead by Daylight, I'm back on the Siege, which are games that I like. Neither of them I had played for like a year and a half, and I have also like thought about like Borderlands 2, Borderlands 3, Wonderlands, all of them. Like I want to go back and so play them before Borderlands 4 drops, which is also pretty exciting. I really like the franchise, so hopefully
I understand.
it's gonna be good. Basically, the only thing that I'm worried about is the character designs of the Vault Hunters. I think they're so fucking boring. So hopefully the character customization is off the charts. But other than that, like thus far, I'm relatively, I'm positively optimistic about it. But yeah,
Cautiously optimistic.
but yeah, like it just all favorites at this point. Like Borderlands 2 came out basically as long ago as I started doing YouTube content as well. So like I've liked it all this time. I'm not suddenly gonna be like, okay, yeah, I think I'm done with this game now. I'll always go back to it. So yep, it's old favorites, we'll call it.
Okay.
And next, Wait, did I do this right? Yes. I'm so bad at typing and talking at the same time, but yep. Wait. Did I fuck up? Oh, I already fucked up. Awesome.
Oh shit.
Well,
What happened?
shit. Well, I need to. Well, whatever. I'm not gonna then worry about this. I need to go back and timestamp these then manual, whatever. I'm not gonna worry about it now. I'll use my cursor and hopefully it'll make it easier for me. But number 2, Destiny 2, and specifically like the final shape and Into the Light. So for whatever reason, like me and a friend who was like being super into WoW, like I think this year, like also decided to go back into D2 around Into the Light, which we didn't even like. We didn't know that was happening when we decided to go back into it. Was just, oh, there's also this thing happening, and it's basically like there was a lull in, like, the final shape was meant to come out like earlier. I think it was meant to come out like late last year. Sorry, not last year. Late 2023, but it got delayed by 6 months. So Into Light was basically a compensation that they gave to the community as like, hey, here's something to do while you wait for this like super climax so we can actually like do it properly. And it was basically a horde mode. Horde mode in D2, where also like the loot that you could chase was it was all like basic remakes of old, like really good and really iconic weapons. They had a new coat of paint, they had new purples, and also there was a tiny chance that you could get a shiny version of one. It's literally just Pokemon shinies that you could get. There was a tiny chance that you could get a shiny version of one, and it was just like it looked different, and then also it had double perks. So usually it's like you have 2 perks in the first 2 columns that are more like weapon parts, and then the actual perks are columns 3 and 4, and those usually you all have 1 there, but the shiny ones had 2. So in addition to it being like just looking cooler and being a lot rarer, it was also a way for you to get a having a higher chance of actually the weapon being good as well, because you had more chance for good perks rolling on it. And it was like also her like I've always been like I've still like getting good loot, but for a lot of the like community, especially like the more hardcore players, like and content creators, I remember like, for example, Dado like talking about it and like literally saying like this was the first time in years when he's actually been excited about a weapon drop. So it was also a way for like hardcore players to actually be like, yo, I'm actually looking forward to what sort of loot I get again, instead of like, okay, I have my meta build that I have had for quite a while now and it's still doing fine. So that was really neat. And also the like horde mode onslaught, like genuinely like super fun content. And in a game like this, I feel like a horde mode just makes sense. And onslaught was where they did it correctly. You also had like some upgrades that you could buy, like defensive upgrade, like turrets and stuff like that. So that was pretty neat. And then the final shape, obviously the conclusion to the light and darkness saga in Destiny, and
yes, the Dark Seeker saga.
and so now knowing what comes after, like sort of feeling like the beginning of the end, because it definitely feels like with all the layoffs that have happened, like I wouldn't be surprised if the game dies in a few years, unfortunately. But like the final shape overall, just like the prismatic subclass basically being like, okay, thus far we had like these specific subclasses. Now here's a subclass where it's a combination of all of 5 of the other ones that you basically have. Some limitations, obviously, but it was still like by far it's by far the best thing that you can use usually, because it just the power ceiling is a lot higher. So but it's really fun for build crafting. It was really cool, and the whole like story around it and everything, like bringing back a fan favorite character for one last hurrah, like all like stuff like that. Like the campaign was cool, but everything around it and like the story beats. And you know when I'm talking about story, like it has to be something special. It was all just like it felt
to reach quite far.
Yeah, it all was just like really neat, and you can see it in my like reaction to, if you're interested in this stuff, like I have the reaction to the Excision mission and the cutscenes after that. Like you get that I get very emotional, and it's like, although I haven't been there like since the Destiny 1 days, like I tried Destiny 1 on the PS3, I did not like it. It ran horribly. I didn't like it, so I never stuck through. But then when Destiny 2 came on the PC, like there I've been since the start, and it was still like quite a journey, and like seeing all of that, like getting the big payoff, seeing all of that come together and sort of end, like to a lot of people also it marked kind of the end of their like journey. It's like, okay, this thing that I've been here for what I think around 10 years is like, okay, well, I think I'm done with the franchise now. And it's like I feel like for a lot of people it was like, okay, now I'm happy I've gotten everything out of Destiny that I wanted to. And that's sort of where they stopped. And it does feel like after that, like it's the game's being kind of on life support, but mostly that's due to
skeleton crew working on it.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. But I still I think like it's some of the most fun gunplay in game. The game is still like the gameplay loop is fun. I enjoy it. It plays well. So probably until like I'll keep playing it every now and then, and once again until they take it out back and shoot it in the head. But I definitely think like 2024 definitely like highlight year for Destiny 2 in a lot of ways.
Oh yeah.
And I know I said whatever, I won't care about it. I will care about it, and now I'll just do the rest right. I'll just have to figure out those.
Oh no.
But then Ludwig. So
Ludwig.
I did not discover Ludwig in 2024. I have watched his content for a lot longer, and I was there when the Salty Ice Climbers melee moments compilation was made. I was there, but Ludwig, I think 2024 kinda set it kind of in stone. But I think like Ludwig is my favorite content creator of all time. I think he does so many different things. Like I think like the 2024 also like was really good example of this, like with all the events, like stuff that I had, like the World's Greatest Gamer, really sick event, like really fun, like the streamer games, almost Olympics, where we're not trying to game it,
streamer
legal trouble, the streamer games,
the
streamer games, like his challenge with like the Lovers versus the World with Connor and Sea-Dog, where they like played 10 different games, like you had to win in 10 different online multiplayer, like competitive multiplayer games in a row. Like some of the most fun streams that I've watched in a long time, obviously behind Jeexx, because that's League of
streams.
And then like just the like
bottom tier,
the 5 days League stuff now recently. I mean obviously I'm a older like League head, so I enjoy when people are getting into League. Like it's all been like very amusing, and like these are just the streams, but also like videos and stuff. Like I don't know, I feel like it's not a super hot take to say, like, I think Ludwig is a very like charismatic fellow and like really innovative with the stuff he does. Like he does many different things. He's very entertaining. The podcast is fun. Like, I don't know, I just think he does cool shit. And when he initially had the like 5 years of content and then retire plan, like, and then like start a baker or something, like, I'm sorry, but I am happy. I am happy that dream of the baker opening after the 5 years like didn't come through, and he's still making stuff, because I think he's a inspiration to many, and I definitely think like the stuff he does is cool.
Can't believe he didn't open up a bakery. What the fuck?
I mean, he can still do it later. I would argue like you probably get more street cred if you're a baker owner at the head honcho there when you're 50 than when you're 30. You know, just a maybe, but yeah. And then, once again, stalling for time. Install and the FGC. So we can talk about install after. I'll talk about why I chose Granblue here as the background and the icon, but also like just FGC as a whole. Like shout out Tekken 8. I have not played it as much as I expected to play it when it initially got revealed, given how much I enjoyed like Tekken 7. But still, like once again, like the story, that stream was super fun to do, and the like it got me also to go to a tournament. Granblue got me to go to a tournament, and it just Tekken 8 it's still neat, but I wanted to give the highlight to Granblue Fantasy versus Rising, because I had obviously for a long time been like a big fan of fighting games. I don't think this is a surprise to anyone who really knows me, but like this year and like literally from the start of the year, like thanks to Granblue, like I feel like I finally got to realize what it's actually like to be in the FGC and actually like enjoy it the way it's best enjoyed thanks to this game, was because I found a community where I had previously been like very scarcely, but now like I feel like also through that like I'm still like much closer to that, or I guess in this case those communities, but we're not gonna go to that. But it was through this game which I was like, oh, it looks cool, I'll give it a shot, and I ended up liking it a lot more than I expected to. And quite a few people actually ended up playing it, and having people consistently that are around your skill level to play a fighting game with and like progress together in was some of the most fun I have ever had with a video game.
Fighting games specifically, I think that kind of community like interaction is key to fostering a positive like attitude towards a game. Like if you have people, like some people that you play with, like you have 2 or 3 people, that's already like quite a bit. But like if you're just playing with one person, for example, it can cause an issue where one of you is putting in more homework or more work than the other, and that leads to a disparity in skill. So neither of you are having a good time doing that anymore. And if it's like as it gets more and more, you end up having the people fighting against each other, fighting against different people, fighting against people who are just outright better than you. I think it's a necessary experience to proper like appreciate a fighting game as a game and as like a community experience. That makes sense.
And it's like Granblue was the first time when I was actively labbing, not just for the sake of labbing and doing cool stuff, but it's like, okay, we played with this person yesterday, I was struggling with this, now how do I deal with this? Like doing the labbing that actually helps you. And
I think the important part about that is also like repeatedly playing against the same people means that you run into that same thing often enough where you have to learn to beat it or you get shit on.
And also
and that's something that doesn't come up in ranked, for example.
And also when you have like consistent like basic training partners, like it's also like if you have habits, the other person is going to catch up to those habits and punish you for them, and that leads to further growth when it's like, okay, well, I can't do this obviously against this person, so instead I need to do something else, and it's sick. So that's why like Granblue holds a special place in my heart. And it kind of like I got busier and also started like splitting my time with that and doing other stuff as well, so I kind of fell out of it. Other people kept playing, and then when I tried to go back to it, like the skill disparity at that point was too grand for me to have a good time anymore, which was kind of like ironic and kind of poetic, because like previously the way I had played fighting games mostly was just like the friends that weren't really into fighting games, and occasionally I got to rope them into like, okay, let's actually play a fighting game together. And obviously then like me, who has actually like dabble with them, although like not in a meaningful way, but still like a lot against someone who doesn't play them at all. Like it was like basically like the skill disparity obviously was very great, and it was kind of a very humbling experience to then be on the other side, on the receiving end of it. But still, like, I definitely still like the hold those memories like fondly, and it was like I said, like genuinely like some of the most fun I've ever had with a video game. And because of that, it also ended up being the reason why we went to a tournament, and it was my first offline tournament.
It was an experience.
It sure was. And honestly, expectations going into it not high, because it's your first offline. It's like I'm gonna be nervous as shit. Like people are gonna be fucking insane. They're gonna fuck me up. Like it's the biggest event in Finland too. Like they're gonna be like bunch of killers, and like I'm gonna get fucking beat up. And the results, honestly, much better
Pretty
than
fucking good.
Yeah, much better than expected. So I guess we can talk about Tekken and Grand Blue since we both play with those. So do you wanna first like touch on your Strive run?
So my Strive run was I haven't played Strive in 6 months. I have no idea what any of the new characters do. Have not played the game since they added Drive Rush. My combos are like 1.1 soul combos, and I just go in there and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna try to play the game. I'm gonna try to see how it works, and then I just got fucking washed by people running loops on me. I'm like, I'm sitting there thinking, how the fuck? How am I supposed to do anything here? This guy's got safe street for everything. And for some reason, my DP isn't invulnerable. And then I realized a little bit too late that my heavy slash DP was not invulnerable anymore, because that was a universal change for all characters with DPs.
And then also you had that like thing with like
With the
your
sound.
controller. Oh yeah, that too. But also like the
Oh, yeah,
controller
that-
maybe having some issues.
Yeah, like I was having certain issues with holding down back. I don't know if what it was specifically, but when I held down back on either side at a specific angle, it would start like going back and forth between down and down back
Yeah.
in a way where like it most likely caused me to get hit by shit that I was obviously blocking.
Yeah.
Like there was a moment where I was holding down back, like clearly holding down back. I took my hand off my controller even, and I was holding down back, and I got hit by what is a low. And I was really confused.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
we
It
also
went as
end up-
expected,
Yeah.
I must say.
We also ended up watching like some of the like top 8 for Strive, which was pretty hype. That was sick.
Yeah.
And
It was super exciting beyond the fact that there were so many gold Lewises.
yeah. There were 2 or 3 even. But
I think so, yeah.
But there was also the crowd hero playing Johnny, so shout out Johnny,
Yeah,
sick
right.
character. Unfortunately, no chips, but I mean that's only for the greatest game.
why
in
would you
general,
have?
So, you know, I mean
why
to
would you
be
play
fair, if Gold Lewis is, I wouldn't want to play chips against Gold Lewis. I'll say that.
Exactly.
So-
It would just not be a good time
Yeah.
for anyone.
But yeah, for me, the game that I entered that Jeexx didn't was Dragon Ball Fighters, which I had not played that game for a long time. Like my team was basically dead because of like recent meta stuff. Like I had played Vegito and Gogeta, Blue Gogeta, not SJ4, since both of those characters came out for such a long time alongside 21, who I then later like got bored and swapped out. But then a lot of like especially French players and the eventual Evo winner Hikaru used the what was called like the fusion team. It was like always just Gogeta, Vegito, and usually 17, but also other stuff as well, like 21 and stuff like that. And it ended up being like, okay, Vegito and Gogeta now build half the amount of meter that they used to. So running two of those in a team where you didn't, even if you had like one great battery, like it was still like you're gonna be struggling in the meter department. So that team was kind of dead. So I think I ended up going with Vegeta because I had played Vegeta for longer. And then I threw in SJ Goku because I had dabbled with him like every now and then. And then who I also replaced in the what then became the blue team, 21 with, which was SSG SS Vegeta, who I really liked and also was like really good, like really really good. He had insane solo stuff as well, so I got a good point out of that. But I didn't expect much, obviously. Like the practice that I got for that was we had one day when me and Jeexx just ran sets for hours, and honestly, it was just a ton of fun. Like, but I was kind of just flailing around and doing
just hitting buttons.
Yeah, just hitting buttons, doing simple stuff, but it was still like very fun. And I think I'm pretty sure I won one game, which was against a person that I also played in the Tekken 8 bracket, which we'll talk about after this. And he literally I think he had come from the UK, and he had literally just entered everything. And he told me that like he had basically never played the game, and his team like he just went with Majin Buu, Kid Buu, and 21, and he just said that when I asked him like, "Oh, you like those characters in Dragon Ball, or why you pick them?" He just said they're all pink, and we were just like, that was my first match, and we were just like laughing, and talking throughout it, and then I ended up winning that, and then I played against two people who actually played. Definitely played fighters, and I was put in a combo video basically. So, but that was still like it was still fun. Definitely.
Washed by some sweats.
Yeah, I mean,
in a tournament,
the dude running Beerus and Gohan, and I don't remember the third character. Like, it was I could have been there, or I could have been like anywhere else. Like it would have looked the same basically. I got my shit mixed like 17 times and just exploded. So, but it was still pretty cool. But Tekken we entered both, and we had played it a little bit, but definitely like neither of us had played it enough to be like, okay, yeah, we're probably ready for this tournament. Which like with this pretty new game, so a lot of people are probably gonna be excited to play it and enter. What did it? Which game had the highest number of entrants? Was it Tekken?
I'm pretty sure it's Tekken. I'm pretty sure it's Tekken.
Because I was gonna say like I also think it was Tekken, and obviously like there were also some like hitters like Joe Pelix that also like actually compete worldwide. So definitely some killers there.
Jeez.
So expectation going into it, not the greatest. But how was your Tekken 8 run? Hey, when we were finally talking about the install run, that was meant to happen like half a year ago.
Ages ago, yeah. Over half a year ago, like almost 8 months, 7 months at this point. But yeah, my runs did not go very well in Tekken either. First I had a match where I think I played against the Lily, and the Lily was doing Matterhorn, but I was like, wait, this shit is unpunishable? Like I was trying every single move after blocking it to like check it. Yeah, I play Steve. Like I was trying to punish, but wait, this can't be right. But then I realized, oh fuck, that's this thing. I can't check this thing with any of my moves. It's a stance transition move.
Mm-hmm.
Like any of the moves that I was used to using, I couldn't check that move with. So like getting hit by something, and I don't remember what it was anymore. But I almost brought it back after like taking a moment to be like, okay, I can just play the same playstyle that I played in 7 and be fine. Then I ran into a different issue, which was, oh, I got a counter hit. I'm gonna go do extended duck 1 into a down forward 1-2-1, and then when I did my down forward 1-2-1, for some reason it never did the down forward 1-2-1, which is supposed to like go and do like a fake out punch and then do the real punch and then transition into flicker. It never worked. It only ever did down forward 1-2. And even when it did work, I immediately did the 7 combo instead of the 8 combos. So I was a little fucked in many regards playing my character there. Yeah. And then I lost that match. I then I went to the TO being like, okay, I lost 1-2. I lost 1-2. I'm pretty sure it was 1-2. And then he was like, okay, yeah. And then he started calling for my name, or what I still assumed was my name. And then he told me to sit next to one guy and play. And then after we played the set, I was like, okay, GG. That's a bit unfortunate. Out like 0-2. That's a bit sad. And then it turned out it wasn't that I was supposed to play with him. And then he was like, wait, why did you guys sit down while you're playing? It's like, bro, you told us to sit here. You told us to play. And
Yeah,
then,
we'll get to it later, but there were, I mean, first and foremost, shout out the TOs that were
yeah, shout out to you.
it's a thankless job, and obviously tournaments could happen with y'all, and
Mm-hmm.
it's when there are mishaps like they're unfortunate, and usually it's no single person's fault, and everybody makes mistakes. But there were a couple like TOing mishaps definitely, but we'll get more into that way, Gramble.
I lost to a like random Shaheen player, 02, 06, to be specific. He just fucking swept me. Like I got 50-50 to hell and back. So that was that match, and that was why I was kind of bummed. And then I had another match, and that was against the Jack player, and like
There was a lot of Jack.
so I have to point out, I did not know what the universal input for Hate Smash was at this tournament, I'm pretty sure. Because, like, I don't know how I'm supposed to use my thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how to get it out and how to use it and how to actually, like, get value out of it. And I just kind of said, fuck it, I'm not going to bother. And that match was when I got so many counter hit back ones, and I just couldn't transition to my combos. I was doing the same thing that I always do in Tekken 7, and it just didn't work in 8. And I was so frustrated towards the end that I just stopped trying to do the combo and just did max damage off of like 2 hits, like a fucking Tekken 2 or 3 combo.
Hell yeah.
Oh, I was so mad. I was so bummed. Like that my sets were like that last set was close enough where if I just had one more round, I would have took the whole set. But unfortunately, did not work out that way.
You also a lot like contemplate whether play Dragunov or Steve, because obviously Dragunov is a lot
Yeah.
better tournament character and insanely good in 8. I don't know how it is now, like the meta, I'll be honest,
Yeah.
but like then like Dragunov was considered one of, if not the
best
single
character.
best character in the game.
The best character. But like I also ran into the issue like when I was gonna go there, I wasn't sure who I was gonna play, and then somebody was like, "You gotta play Steve," and I just
I mean,
thought to
I
myself,
definitely told
like,
you that, bro. We're going tournament. There's no way you're not playing Steve, bro.
I gotta play Steve, and then I just played Steve, and then I got my ass fucking whooped.
Yeah.
This was after me spending like hours. Like before we went to install, I did a stream where I went through like a bunch of characters, and this was when I was like, yeah, this doesn't work the way that I used to play. Like the way that I used to play doesn't work at all because of certain changes to Steve's kit. For example, back 1-2, which was what I used to kind of check sidestepping against back 1, because I could just go back back one, and people were sidestepping, which is crazy to do to begin with. But if it happens, they're like sidewalking or anything, back 1-2 into transition into doing something. But they changed how back 1-2 works, and they also they specifically changed it so you can't go into peekaboo and you can't go into flicker. You always go into Lionheart, and nobody asked for Lionheart. That stance is the worst thing they've added to that character ever, and it completely ruined like a certain sets of moves for that character for the launch patch. Where if you did those, you just let yourself get killed. To the point where people were trying to figure out how to like do this one exploit where if you plink a specific combination of inputs within a 2-frame window or something, you can cancel the stance into an unintended duck, which you can then duck cancel, and it's safer than if you hit your opponent and you actually got your Lionheart to go off. It was horrible. Actually, the worst thing that they did to that character. But yeah, that's a big reason why I also like got jump scared at points where I was like, okay, they're back 1-2. I'm gonna go into peekaboo, and then I'm gonna go do down 1, and then I'm dancing, I'm shuffling, and I can't get shit done, and I died. Great, amazing. But yeah, how about yours?
Yeah, for me, the second bracket, I went 2-2 total. And
Oh, yeah.
obviously, like exceeded my expectations. So round one, I play against the person that I was talking about earlier that I also ran into in Fighters. Had come from the UK, like entered everything and was like pretty new to Tekken. He played Jack. We had I think it was 2-1. It was a pretty good set, and I ended up winning that. Then I ran into a Asuka/Kuma player who I also talked to later when we just ran into each other in the bathroom. We just talked about it a little bit. I was asking about his run and like talking about that stuff, but no, it wasn't Asuka Kuma play. No, he lost when he talked to me about this run. Like he lost to a Kuma because of the weird stance and that fucking up some stuff. But he played Asuka. He sidestepped basically all of my shit. Oh yeah, I played King throughout, and he sidestepped all of my shit, and I got folded like an amulet. I think I took one round. I'm pretty sure, but yeah, like he also like he didn't care about size selection either. Like I asked, he was just like, yeah, you can just pick, no worries, which is this important. It'll come up later. So I was 1-1. Then it was losers bracket time, and now I have to apologize. I do not remember who I played in losers, but I do remember that I won. Overall, I just played like very fundiest King. And what I couldn't really do in 7 was giant swing input, and I don't know if they made it easier in 8, but I got quite a bit of giant swings off, and I don't think a single giant swing was broken in the games that I won. So, you know, if you can't break giant swing, that matchup is going to be very hard. And King, I think Tekken 8 also, like, especially like earlier before they nerfed like Power Crush and stuff like that, like King, super fucking good. Like, one of the best iterations of King ever, I think.
Yeah.
And then the final game before I was out was against a little player as well, which I also remember I talked with you about afterwards, which basically came down to I think I did 2 mids the entire set.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he just docked all my stuff and I lost. And why I said that the side selection was important about that, the earlier person was like, yeah, you can just pick. When we went to side selection with this, like, asked him about the side, and he literally went, which one do you want? I said left. Then he's like, okay, let's play rock, paper, scissors for left. So, and that person definitely wanted to win, and like, no hate to that, but it was just like very like fun contradiction with the or juxtaposition, I guess is a better word to use, like for the like 2 of my losses where one person was like, yeah, but bro, go ahead, and he was like very nice and everything, like was giving me tips after, and we ran into each other later and were talking about it, and then the other person is literally like, oh, you're here for the first time, it's like, okay, whatever you want. Oh yeah, I want that too. And
I swear I remember hearing an anecdote of somebody going like, oh yeah, side selection doesn't matter unless you want a specific side, then I want the same side.
Oh yeah, yes, that was what the person actually said. Yeah, now he said that. Oh yeah, I remember. It's like when I asked him, I was like, oh, I don't care unless you have a preference.
Yeah. Then it matters.
Said. Yeah, then okay. And it's like already at that point, I was like, oh yeah, this guy wants to win, huh?
Yeah, that's for winning. But like, I'm pretty sure he said that, and he said, oh, I'm gonna go right. Then he would have been like, okay. But if you said left without any kind of like, do you mind if I take left? He would definitely always. I think he would have always tried to go for rock, paper, scissors. Yeah. Because I imagine it doesn't matter for this kind of guy.
Yeah.
An actual gamer, as you say.
But still, like first I think definitely like I got super outplayed. I don't think I would have won this one either, but I definitely like here I feel like I could have taken a game if I literally just did mids, because it was literally I was just going for a lot of throws.
Kicks, I'll be honest.
Yeah,
if you just did hop kicks.
I was going for a lot of throws, and like so much stuff just got like my stuff. Like I was also finishing like back 1-2 way too much, so he just like ducked and launched me every time. So it was just like if I just did so many more mids, even like you said, like if I just fucking spammed hop kick, like I would definitely at least take a game. So
yeah. you would have at least conditioned him not to just be holding down back because he was just doing that.
Yeah, literally. So that was definitely like it felt more like that was more like me, not like obviously not to take credit away from my opponent, but like still like it felt more like okay that like
Play yourself.
I just did dumb shit, but still like I was very happy to even like win some games. But then Grand Blue, which was definitely like the main game for us going in there, and talking about the TOing, I guess we'll skip a little bit. So they declared at one point, okay, we have now our top 16 settled. And at that point, both me and Jeexx were still in the bracket, right? Yes. Yes.
No, I'm pretty sure I already.
What was it one before? Oh, did you? I don't remember. But okay, I was told, hey, you're in top 16. This is my first tournament. And I'm like, holy fuck. That's insane. But also, in the back of my mind, I'm like, I'm pretty sure I played like 3 games at this point, or sorry, sets, 3 or 4 sets. Definitely, like I still like definitely were like, wait, already? That feels kind of weird. And then a little bit later, they like I'm like, oh wait, actually we fucked up, and there's one more round before we do that. But we'll get back to that. But I guess since I'm already yapping, like I can talk about my run. So the very first. So how the bracket was, the amount of people, some people played an additional round 1. I was one of those people. And the person that I was up against was this person called Mire. And if you look at tournaments in Finland or in Granblue, if this person was in the tournament, they won it every time. They literally, every single tournament they had participated in, for this game in Finland, they had won, like every single time. It was basically like, okay, so Jopalix is there for Tekken, like he's gonna win Tekken. Like this person is there, okay, yeah, like he's gonna win.
Like Miri's like winning speech was like, I appreciate Install running a tournament for me to just get free money.
Yeah, I was literally just about to say, literally when he won, I was asked like about it, like he literally said, "Thanks for the free money," like. And like he wasn't like cocky about it, but it's just like this dude is just like so much better than anybody else. And I literally went to like look at, because he had a specific like unblockable setup. He went for, I literally went to VOD review some of his tournament matches, and he played Eustace, and I was playing Six in. Initially, I started with Gran because I wanted to learn the game. Then some people in the group that we played were like, some people are winning only because of their characters, or only because of basically making a lot of having a lot of reasons other than skill difference in some wins. So I literally told we can literally dig up the DMs with me and me telling Jeexx you reckon if I pick this character, he was basically he was the second best character in the game, but the first one near by far the best character in the game was Papa character. I do not like the playstyle. Six was a rush down, so his playstyle fit with mine. So I was like, you reckon if I just pick this character, I'm gonna get discredited just because I play this character? And I didn't intend to stick with him, but I actually ended up really liking his playstyle, and especially his combo structure was some of the most fun combo structure I've ever had with any character in a fighting game that I play. Literally.
Bro realized he actually hates fundies. Just
wants to skip neutral. Also the character allowed you to skip neutral, which was definitely my weakest part in the game. And he had multiple neutral skips because the pre-patch fireball was really good. Obviously the die was really good. So he really he fit my playstyle perfectly, and I ended up just sticking with him. And still I'm not happy with what they did to him, and that's was definitely a little part of why I also haven't really been interested in going back to Granblue that much. But maybe I'll give it a shot when Sandalphon comes out, but we'll see.
Just to point out, originally you started with Grant, and then you played 6, but after 6 you also played 2B.
Oh yeah.
And you would have most likely played 2B in the tournament if they had not changed her.
Yeah, that is actually true. The 2B was very good, and so
Broken, one might say.
bit of a sidetrack, but we had basically a bi-weekly at that point tournament in like the community that I was talking about like earlier. Like we basically had a bi-weekly tournament where we had like around like 10 or so people like just playing like just for funsies, but those ended up actually like being pretty tense. And there was one person who was from NA who also like playing these, and there's a person who had what 5,500 hours in Central Fiction, and like they were a fighting game player. Like they played fighting games, and basically every time like if they participate, like they would win these. And one tournament I ended up, because I really also enjoyed 2B when she came out, I ended up like labbing, putting like actually just even like finding some sauce, and it was pretty neat. And I really like 2B, so I decided like, well, one of these tournaments I was like, okay, you know what, I'll give 2B a whirl. And like I ran into this person in the grand finals, and they had always like Nier was their main, I mean the best character in the game probably play, because you know he plays weird characters anyways, so a lot of the time, and likes playing zoners, so I guess it like fit. But most of the time like he just played the entire cast, and at these tournaments like he was playing like something like Catalina, sometimes Ladiva, like kind of out there stuff. And I think, was he playing Lancelot in that tournament initially?
Yep. Actually, I don't think it was Lancelot. I think
no, Avatar, right? But
oh yeah.
He played a lot of Avatar, but like it was definitely wasn't his main. But he was playing like Avatar Belial initially, but and he had never played Nier, because it was like, okay, Nier is for people who like piss me off. Essentially, it's like when he had a bad time in rank, he's like, all right, time to make other people miserable. Like he was the highest rank, which I think back then was Master with Nier. So we play Grands, and I obviously come from losers. I reset the bracket, and
Hey, we have to, before you go like, oh yeah, I came from losers, we have to point out that so the first round I play against Oka. I get knocked into losers in the first round, and I get to losers finals, and Weebfox gets to losers finals, obviously. And we have a max set double Luigi
literally.
before, and then it's like the one thing where the game falls is the one thing where I was catching you the whole set.
Yeah.
Which was, you do the setup, and I just until you do the setup enough times, and then I just fucking knock you down with a DP, and I get to run my offense now.
Yeah.
And there was also a lot of freaky shit in that set with like DPs just being fucking weird.
Yeah.
So that was a good set. But yeah, I got fucking washed, and then you get to go to grand finals to clean Oka's clock.
Yeah. So the bracket resets, and I don't think I'm not sure if I don't remember anymore if he swapped on the reset, or if he still stuck it out with Avatar Belial. I want to say he played at least a little bit of Avatar also, but that part I'm not actually 100% sure on.
But, you know, just to make it cool, just say that the first set went 3-2 and you won, and then the second set went to 2-0 for you, and then he swaps from Avatar to Nier and then sweeps you 3-0.
Yeah.
Just to make it sound cool, just to make it sound menacing.
But I'm not sure about the data, but basically, like at this point, like Oka was like basically, also I guess we're just name dropping at this point, doesn't matter. The like he was just a god, and it was like, okay, this guy's untouchable, and like basically always like it ended up being like it was Jeexx and Oka in Grants, and then Oka just cleans house and wins. And then like he had never played Nier against us before, except for the like early when y'all ran like the death matches, right?
Yeah, because he wanted me to stop.
Yeah,
from what I understood.
So this happens, and everybody's like, okay, wait, what the wait, is Weebfox actually gonna do this shit? And then like literally, like I think the pop off is bigger when he swaps to Nier. Like I remember like me being like, bro, I am so honored. Actually, I feel so honored right now. Like that was like
Wait.
I'm basically like pushing another person to like, okay, well, time for my last.
I'm gonna kill
resort.
you now.
Yeah, which had not happened before, and I had never fought Nier. Like even I played some ranked, I played online in that game, but I had never played Nier. The only thing I knew about was the 17-way setup. I knew that it was a thing, but that was literally the only thing that I knew about Nier. I didn't know anything about her frame data or anything like that. So I basically I get washed after he goes Nier. But it was like it was I felt very like it made me feel like very accomplished still, like even though I lost that end. It made me feel really good and also like made me feel a lot better about 2B. But the like all the other changes that they did to 2B initially, like I was fine with, but the thing that I liked the most about her, which was the same thing with 6, was the combo structure and the skill gauge building slower when you're doing basically anytime you're hitting your opponent. They later just like, okay, now it's fine, but it's not actually fine when you're comboing your opponent, which is one thing that I cared about. So I have that like completely killed my enjoyment of 2B, although like she still was a very good character. Like that was the part that I enjoyed about her, so they changed that, so I kind of dropped that, so that's why I ended up going 6 in the tournament. But also I realized like this install segment is probably longer than the rest of my list, but also I'm realizing like a lot of this stuff that we still have remaining here, like I already talked about most of them, so they're going to be pretty brief, so it doesn't matter, that's fine. But yeah, back to the tournament. So my round 1 is Miri. He plays Eustace and is by far the best player in Finland. And I'm like,
oh yeah, definitely.
Oh,
There's
so I'm just gonna fucking die. Okay, but it was mostly like, okay, well, my expectations at that point like weren't too, like I was not expecting too much anyway. So I'm like, that's fine. I'll just try to have fun with it. And the set happens. I lose. I took one round though. I think I'm okay. I'm not sure. I want to say I took one round. I'm not sure though. But the one like highlight in the set was that. So like I said, I had been bot reviewing, and he goes for the unblockable setup, and I actually like deal with the setup because I had like it was basically just like a like I enter. Not altruistic. I had something else in mind that I was gonna support this, but I forgot. But it's basically like, okay, he gets a knockdown and he goes for the setup that I like. Literally, I'm like, oh, this is the thing that I saw, and this is what I'll do. And I deal with the setup one time.
Palace.
I like immediately after, like I just get fucking blown to smithereens. But that like one thing, which was like, oh, I studied the tapes. And it paid off. Like it was definitely my highlight of the set. But I mean, I don't know. He played really clean. It was basically like if I did one thing twice, like the second time I would do one setup that I had done previously, like I would just get blown up, and his reactions were just like really good. So, like you could not jump against this guy. I think I got away with one jump. So I got blasted there. And then I played. Oh, God, I feel so bad about not remembering people. Oh, Catalina. Then I played a Catalina player. Actually, wait, was that first? I played a Catalina and I played someone who I don't remember. But
you played against the Catalina obsessed one. I'm pretty sure. The character that has like a very bizarre fascination with Catalina.
Oh, okay. Well, Vera. Yeah, I mean, oh, yeah. Well, that's actually something I tried to find the clip for, but my Discord search doesn't function, so I can't look for like stuff from me. So unfortunately, I don't think I can find the clip. That I wanted to pull that clip up because like it's nothing special and you can't even see the chat for that, but it's just I don't know. it made me feel like really good. But yeah, I play a Catalina player, and it's a pretty close set, but I win 2-1. And then there's a pause. And then my next game, I get told, hey, you're going to be playing on stream. And so like the stream setup is like this. It's like if you watch like CEO or anything, like it's the same. Like there's a boxing ring and the setups are there. Like it's fucking sick.
Yeah.
And so my turn comes up to play in the ring, and I put the headphones on. The game volume is so fucking loud, like it's insane. I did not think you can put the volume on a PC even through headphones to that loud, but it's probably to like not get distracted by anything. And I'm like, all right, sure. And my opponent is playing Vera, and my opponent was, I don't know how experienced they were with Rebel, but they had won the mystery game, so they were a fighting game player for sure. And the entire set, like looking back on it when I went back to watch the VOD, because obviously now I could because it was on stream, the entire time the casters are screaming for me to punish a move. So like I was pretty confident in the Vera matchup, but for whatever reason I had completely mixed up like two of her moves, like an EX version and a non-EX version of a move. Like I remember that the frame data for those two was the other way, and I just remember it was -8 or -2, which is like one you get blown up and one I literally like, okay, I just get my turn back, and I literally mixed those up, so I let him get away with this thing for the entire set because I literally forgot or mixed up the frame data. But it ends up like going to 1-1, and I think it ended up going to the final round as well. And I don't obviously see it, but I know because I had told my friends, I told the people in the Grand Blue community that we had, that we like where we played fighting games, mostly Grand Blue, about this thing. And I knew like multiple of them were in the Twitch chat, and later when I watched the VOD, because then like you still had chat in there, like it made me feel so good, like watching that and like having multiple people there, like they're rooting for you. And I'm like, in the back of my mind, the only thing I'm thinking of, bro, I do not want to lose in front of these people. I don't care about anything else. And I think the final round was even like, it was a pretty nail biter, and I managed to pull it off. And also I completely forgot about it at the start. Like I think my either audio. Oh yeah, my audio got fucked because I use a PS5 controller, the DualSense, and sometimes when you plug that shit in, like it just takes the audio from your system and just puts it on the fucking controller. I don't know why it does that by default, but I think it did that, and I didn't realize it at the time. So I even have that. Okay, already first offline tournament. Okay, I'm now playing on stream on stage. I'm nervous. Then I plug in. And I'm like, oh, my shit ain't working. So I'm trying to like be to AT or something like, yo, I have this problem, but they get that fixed, like no problem, and then we get back into it. But definitely like added a little bit to the nerves. So just after all of that, like it being on stream, like Yudo grabbing that clip, which was nothing special, but still like something, like it felt magical. And like honestly, I expected like to pop off like more after that, but I think I just did like a small fist bump like that to the stream, and then just walked about.
I found the VOD and I went to spot in the VOD, but I don't remember if this is the round where this happens.
Oh, you
found it's the last round.
Oh, I do.
It is in fact double Ludwig.
Okay, well.
Oh, you can even see Arky in the chat here. Oh.
But you can. Oh, this one shows the chat. Oh yeah, because the clip doesn't show it. So yeah.
Let's go Weebfox.
Oh yeah, and the fucking, I remember. So Cafe Camelot Underground was what we called our the bi-weekly, and oh yeah, this was pre-patch Fireball. So we just pulled up in the for the scum was so sick. The
Lost the 50-50
I was just
base
going,
view.
yeah. Yeah, the frame trap, general frame trap, and but yeah, it was a double AG. But yeah, like the CCU was the other day, and then yeah, there. I actually, this might actually be the clip that you had. I mean, it was still like it was pretty similar, and it was still like, in a lot of ways, it was just. But yeah, I guess this wasn't the nail biter, and it was another thing, probably the previous round, but yeah, it just. Just like having all these like people who I know they're in there, and like everything that was literally going through my mind was like, I want to win for the boys, and yeah, and I don't know, just looking at this is also like this round kind of like highlighted everything about like this that I just liked. It's like, okay, first you get the ultimate hit, you get the combo of that, then the generic frame trap that I always got so much mileage out of, that I was told like, yeah, nobody gets hit by that, and then using that to go into the mix, and then getting the final hit of that. It was basically like my three favorite things about Sick, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so I don't actually even know if the camera panned. Yeah, I did my fist bump even like before the camera pan. But then like, yeah, it was just, it was sick. And then just like afterwards, like when I went to water, we were like looking this stuff, and like seeing all my friends there. It's like it was fucking magical. And then I was obviously told I was in top 16.
Hell yeah. Top 16
yeah,
play.
awesome.
Oh, top 16 in Finland for Granblue Fantasy versus Rising. That's kind of impressive,
kind of weird. I played 3 games and I'm in top 16. But hey, that's fucking cool. Check in the bracket.
Don't
it's
worry
like,
about
okay, yeah, like start GG. Yeah, we're in top 16.
Top
cool.
16, yeah.
Like an hour and a half passes, and then they realize like, bro, we got fucking 32 people in top 16.
I'm pretty sure it was after I finished my games.
Okay.
And that was like the weirdest part.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. So basically, it's like, okay, well, actually, you have one more game after, and then you're actually in top 16. So I'm like, all right, cool. And I sit down and I play against Charlotta, and this was the most tilting game, any video game I have ever played in any video game in my life.
You know, if there was no changes to 6 and there were no changes to 2B or anything like that, I would probably put this set for why you quit the game.
So, the game starts, and the first game is a wash. So I win 2-0, and I'm literally like, okay, this is like, okay, no. Basically, I'm thinking like, okay, well, okay, I think I beat people that I struggle more with in this tournament before this guy. So I think I'm good.
And there's even a character you've played against. So.
Yeah, like I had a lot of Charlotta experience. I literally knew frame data, and that's what hurt me. So game 2 starts, like doing pretty well, and then I don't know if it was here when he ripped the super. I think it was. I definitely in one of the games. So Charlotta, at least on like the regular super, is the spinny thing, and even if you block it, she jumps back, but to make it a little bit safer. But it's minus 20, or at least then it was minus 20. So, and with 6 speed, like it's really easy. Like it's so easy to punish with just a forward light. The light running attack. I've even forgotten the fucking vocabulary, but basically you're running light. It's like it's a really easy punish, and Easy hit every time. The second game I remember, like he did this multiple times. I went for the light run punish multiple times. Every single time, he can just block it. He can just block it. And I'm like, bro, am I fucking up? What's happening here? And the second game, in the end, like he rips a desperation super. I block it. It's the SSBA, and I fuck up the punish, and I literally get hit by just a raw 5H. Charlotta's 5H, if you know, it's fucking ass, and I died to that shit. And I won the game like literally like 3 different times. Every time I just like somehow fucked the punish, and now like that shit is in the back of my head like that. I should not have lost that game. And when that thought enters your mind, when you're in a tournament setting, you're playing a fighting game, it's fucking cooked.
You're cooked.
But I'm still like, okay, well, I think I'm better. I can still win this shit. And I'll be honest, game 3 is a blur, but it goes to the last round, and he once again rips the super. Is the regular super, and I'm pretty sure I had meter enough, like I hit the punish, he's dead. I do my 4-4 light, he blocks that shit. And then I don't remember what happens, but I remember that like he barely wins that game, and I'm fucking pissed. So I literally afterwards immediately, okay, I mean, I was with fist bump, like he's happy about it, he goes to report that shit. I sit there for a little bit, and I literally after that, like I rip my fucking phone, I go dust globe Charlotta, and I'm like, am I fucking crazy? No, -20 punishable. No, it's literally there. Like I literally don't know how I missed those punishes like so many times, but I was so fucking pissed. Especially later. So later, okay, he goes to top 16. I'm out on this place, and I'm later I look at the bracket, like he loses to the next person, and the next person, I can't recall the name right now, but it was basically like earlier I said like Mir was like by far the best player in Finland, and when you look at tournaments, you have the few names that always show up. And the person that the Charlotta player that I lost to, that the person that they played next and then lost to, was the eventual number 3 finisher in the tournament. And all like literally like when I looked through all the VODs, like it was the name that turned up usually in grand finals against Miri. So basically, if I had won that game, which was so winnable and which I just fucked up so many times, and like constantly threw games away, I would have, in my first offline tournament, I would have made top 16, and the only people I lost to would have been basically the 2 best players in the country and the people who finished number 1 and number 3 in the tournament. And like I was pissed when I lost the set, but when I realized this, like I was so fucking livid, and I'll be like, I still think about that literally. Like when
haunted.
When I think of Grand Blue, like that's the thought that enters my mind. Like literally, if I win that set, I would definitely lose to the next person. By the way, they played Lowain. By far my least favorite character in the game, and like after Nier, the character that I have the least amount of experience against. Like I literally, the only thing that I know really is the SSBA gimmick. Like I can deal with the SSBA, but like at least from the VOD, like this person never used the SSBA anyway, because I mean he was the country's best low end player, and if you look at top lane low end play, they never used the SSBA because obviously like you can deal with it. So I literally like just the fact that so many minor fuck ups, and if one of those fuck ups didn't happen, I would have only lost to the number 3 or the third place and first place finishers in the tournament in my first offline tournament. And like that thought, like just it's gonna gnaw me for the rest of my life, I think. And it was I was so fucking sad about that. Like I was so deflated. Like still over like instead of fucking amazing experience. Like also like just us hanging out also in the motel. Like we played some Digimon. We played some what was the gear we played?
Accent Core.
Oh, Axel Core, yeah. Like stuff like that. Like playing Digimon, doing that. Like just hanging out. Like it was like fantastic experience, and I like very much loved it. But it was like in the end, I was so deflated by that. Cause like I don't know, I think
it's okay. You just gotta win the next one.
Yeah, no. just no, because it's obvious. Like my characters are dead, and I haven't played the game in a long time. Like that was. It would have been such a cool fucking story. I now remember why I never did the video. I was so fucking like deflated, especially like after that, because I was initially like meaning to do like the story time about that. Like I was thinking like a video or a stream, but literally when I was thinking of doing that video or stream, I thought of that set, and like that was literally the reason like why. Like I never made that video. I'm now realizing that that's literally why I didn't do that, because like that just pissed me off so bad. Because it's basically like it's essentially to someone like they were so close to winning. Like to me that was the equivalent, because like winning the whole thing was like I played the game quite a bit, but like I was not putting in the practice to win my first offline tournament against players who had been like the best players in the country since the first Grand Blue. So like that was unrealistic.
Versus, yeah.
So the fact that like I was so close to basically like having a good placement and only losing to the literally best players in the country is just, that is what fucking pissed me off so bad. So, but yeah, there ended my run, and it was still like a phenomenal experience, and I fucking loved it. But it definitely like having that at the end, like it fucking deflated me. But that was, holy shit, that was a long ramble. I'm sorry about that.
It's all good. But I think a lot of that was very relevant to the experience. So, considering that it is on your 3x3, that was a necessary thing to bring up.
Yeah, and yeah, it's. I genuinely like. I wish I had like kept playing Grand Blue. I had like kept at least like playing every couple days just to keep in touch. Because at this point, like it would be the same as me like starting over, which is unfortunate, because I think the game's great. But I'm like I said, like some of the fondest like just gaming related memories ever to relate to this game. And also like through this game, like I found a lot of cool friends. And like if now I literally have now, if I want to go to Southeast Asia, like to a specific country, I literally have a person that like who's there, bro. You can just crash in my place and I'll take care of you. And that's like holy fucking shit. And so shout out to all the cool people who I got to play Grand Blue with and are friends with, bro. Maybe New Year's resolution, I boot up Grand Blue again and see what happens.
Hell yeah, time to boot up Grand Blue and play some characters and be like, I don't like any of these.
I did play some Siegfried, but like, I mean, it just, you know, like a 6, like it fit like a glove. And it's like, I never like Lancelot's combo structure. Like, my thing with fighting games, this is the last thing before I'll let you talk about my run. I'm sorry. It's like 90% of my enjoyment of a character is gonna be the combo structure. I don't know how to really explain it, because like it's so different in a lot of ways, but it's just like doing it and how it looks and how it feels is like how the characters' combos flow is the large majority of my enjoyment with the character.
Paramount for you to actually like the character.
Yeah, literally.
I
And
think
like
that makes sense.
literally why like I initially, because I never thought like, I literally, when I in Tekken 7 I played King, like the people I tended to play with, like they couldn't break grabs to save their lives. Like pressing the punch button was hard, and that's Tekken 7 where breaking grabs was so fucking easy, like so easy. So like by far the easiest. Yeah, honestly, fighting game to break grabs in, unless you go on Smash.
Like regular grabs are super easy to break in 7 and 8.
Literally. So like I literally got conditioned. Like I never use grabs as. That's why I was so bad with Gen swing input, because I never even tried it. Because if I wanted these people to play with me, like I needed to not use grabs. So the reason why I liked King was because his combo, basically all of his combos ended in Rain Jaguar Bomb. Shiny Wizard ended in a grab. And for whatever reason, teenage me thought like ending your combo in a grab was so fucking cool. Like that was the coolest thing ever. And that's literally initially why I like King. I also like the design. And like in Tekken 5, which was the first Tekken game I played, and very casually. I was a kid at that point, and my friend just had the game, and we just smashed. I only remember King that he was a cool Jaguar dude with a cool like black hoodie, and if you pressed forward and triangle, not two, it was forward and triangle 3 times. He hit with 2 elbow hits and then spun and did a 3rd one, and that was cool. That was a really cool string to me. So that's why I initially picked up King. Then later with 7, when I tried characters, like I mean, I really like King's visual design. And then when I tried some combo, it's like, yo, you can end your combo in a grab. That's the coolest fucking shit ever. And that's literally why I stuck with King. And then later, like obviously, I like the playstyle overall. I think like his design is cool. His combo structure is really fun. Obviously, I don't know how it is now in 8. I haven't played the game in a little while, but King's my boy. And yeah, so how did we get here?
We were talking about install. What do you mean?
No, but why did I start talking about like grabs and King?
Because you were talking about
character
why.
appeal to me.
Yeah,
that's right. So it's literally like, it doesn't make sense because like King and 6, they're so different from each other. My favorite character in Street Fighter 6, Luke. One game you have a grappler, one game you have a Shoto, one game you have a rush. Like there is no archetype. It just Luke, because I dabbled with Street Fighter 5 very little. I felt like that game had no combos, and I was like, this game sucks. Street Fighter 6, some stuff came out. I like Luke's visual design, fucking phenomenal. Still to this day, if there are 2 cosplays on this earth I want to do at some point, it's Genderbread Katie Akali, because that will look fucking sick. The jacket is cool, and Luke, like dead ass. I think Luke's design is fucking great. People laugh about his big feet. I don't care. Luke looks fucking phenomenal in Street Fighter 6, and like the knuckle stuff, his combo structure, like fucking love it. So it's literally like, to me, the character enjoyment is just like how their combos are. And there is nobody quite like 6 in Grand Blue. I guess Narmaya would be like the closest thing who I haven't like given a honest shot yet, but it's like just like you found basically like I found like the perfect character and then they changed it. And especially when it happened like multiple times, like it happened with 2B, it happened with 6. Like I've been hurt multiple times, so it's kind of disheartening for that. But it's like, I don't know. It's still like, if even if I never like go back to it, really, like the people I met through it, like the communities that I became a part of, and the fond memories, like the length of this chapter in the YouTube video, you can see it. Like there's a reason why it's this long. Like it's really, really fond memories. Mm-hmm. But Jeexx, your install run in Grand Blue.
I played against a guy that I cleaned 2-0 he was an Armai player.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, whoever that guy was. I'm sorry, that was not a fun match to start the day off with.
yeah.
For
Also,
him.
like for context, so most people they like pressing buttons a lot when they play fighting games. This dude, like, it was even that in our like bi-weeklies. Like, this dude's job is to hold down back. Like, this dude will sit there and block your shit for 17 years. You're not opening him up, and then he'll punch you really hard, and you'll fucking die. Because back then, like, people didn't realize that, you know what? You can just basically dodge the only scary approach option that this character has, and then you're kind of good.
But the main thing with that was also the fact that most of the characters that I was using it against, like most of the characters that got blown out by it, people were using projectiles and whatnot, which are completely like they just get fucked over by that.
Yeah. I mean,
but then later on, like Oka started playing Fairy more, and the result from that was that Oka was just checking me with lights and mediums, and just medium just canceling them out because he figured, oh, I'm always just going to be able to check you, and if you're doing it, you'll slow down and I don't have enough time to react. But yeah, I basically just held down back with a character that is very pressure oriented, and whenever I got my turn, it was my turn.
Yeah.
I kept that until I could no longer keep it, and then I would just
Usually
wait.
people were dead at that point.
Yeah, but like I just wait until I get a chance, and I take it, and I just push in, and that was the way that he went. And then obviously there were times when I just got tired of holding down back, and then I just fucking
I'm just gonna kill you now.
I'm just gonna smash.
You've had your mind. It's my turn now. My turn. Mom said it's my turn on the Xbox. It beats the fuck out of little brother.
But yeah, that's what I did to the first guy, and let's just say I think I blocked 16 DPs or maybe something like that.
Yeah, they did a lot of DPs, but like right one like this, you're gonna have a lot of different types of people.
Yeah,
shout out for
that was like
coming out.
Yeah, good on you. Good on you. Very big respect. And
yeah, then, I saw you now post the Street Fighter 5 Luke.
Don't worry about it.
It's fine, but I do not like them. You know,
it's ugly as sin. It's the worst fucking design in the game, by the way. Even worse than Abigail.
I kind of fuck with the hair. I don't like the color.
Okay,
I kind of fuck with the hair.
So the next guy I fought against in the tournament was a guy called Arayat. Yeah, streams on Twitch.
Yeah, you also saw him there like casting my game. Fun fact: the two people who casted my game was this Arayat fella who we learned about. Like he's like okay at the video game, and the other person who casted it was the person that I played in the both Tekken and Dragon Ball brackets.
Oh shit, that's sick! I didn't realize that. I had no idea. That's cool. But all right, kind of. I took one.
Yeah.
I'm double checking. I think it went 2-1.
I'm pretty sure you took a game because I was recording a lot of those games, so I'm like 90% sure you took a game.
Because I think it was 2-1.
Yeah.
No, it was 2-0, but I'm pretty sure I went 1-1 in both sets at least. Like I took a round in both sets, and the first set
it was like relatively close. Those games were also like very slow. Like they were like really fundies, and he played.
No, not Narmaya. Fucking Anila, yeah.
Yeah.
Our big curl, yeah.
He was okay with the character. So he was the first person global to hit master with the character.
Yeah. He kind of washed me, especially after the first round where he just started standing back because I can't approach.
Yeah, the doesn't have a ground fucking approach. Destroyed you in that match.
Yeah. Like the sweep and the fact that he could just instantly react by pressing a DP every time. Like there was like Anila DP is just so fast that it doesn't matter when it comes out, it will hit me if I'm in my animation because my dash will always go through far enough where everything will hit. But yeah, basically it was a case where I did not have much experience against Anila. I had some experience and I knew certain parts where I could punish her fairly well. And I was abusing those in the first round, and I took that round, and then I got slowly dissected over the course of the next 5 or so rounds, and I lost.
Yeah,
but he was a chill dude. We had a good chat. We talked about the first, like we went into the game, and like at first it was like, we don't need to do the button check. It's fine. Let's get going. And Turned out we should have totally done a fucking button check because it turned out there was
Oh,
no technical inputs on.
yeah. Also, let me make sure. I'll go back to it, but I'm pretty sure I finished. I think it was fourth or fifth in
Fifth or
the
sixth, I'm
final
pretty sure.
bracket. Fifth, yeah.
Because
All right,
fifth or sixth,
number
yeah.
5.
Yeah. He got kind of far. But then I got dropped into losers, and this was when I had to wait like an hour or something between
Yeah,
the
it
matches
was
because
the other person was playing in the
in
Stripe bracket,
Strife.
and
Yeah,
he-
he's a top 8 player in
yeah,
Strife.
maybe
That's
when we were
Johnny.
talking about the crowd hero who ended up picking Johnny,
Yeah, maybe that was
it
that
might
guy.
have been Jeexx's losers round 2 opponent in Grand Blue. And so a little bit of context that I can give before you go into this. So I had, like I said, I had done for this, I actually cared. I literally went to both of our brackets, bracket pass, and I literally looked at these people, okay, what did they play? I literally was thinking because I had done prep for install, and I had my Twitch, I think, linked on StarGG. I literally contemplated wait, should I take down the pod so people can check out
Who
stuff? I
cares?
literally thought of that. But so I went to look at stuff, and this dude's name came up, and I was like, okay, so he plays this character, and he did not end up playing the character. I don't remember even which character it was. I want to say it was Belial or Avatar Belial that I found his VODs for.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you told me that he plays Grim.
I
Because I was checking, because when we found out who I was playing, I was checking Dustloop on my phone to see what Grim does, because I've never
guess,
played against Grim.
I guess I then misremember because I literally. Oh yeah, Grim is one character actually that I'm interested in. I wonder how he is now in Grand Blue because that was also a fun character. But maybe I misremember that. I swear because I swear this was the case where I was this is the character to play, and then we go in there and they play Grimnir, pick Grimnir. I'm like, okay, well, that was absolutely not the character to play. But maybe I misremember. But yeah, they end up playing Grimnir. Or he. Sorry.
The end result of this was after waiting for an hour. First, this is where I have to mention this. At some point, the TO started speaking English to me. And everybody that I interacted with me started speaking English to me, and I just assumed, oh, these must be they must be English, or they must only know how to speak English. But then, at some point, a TO came over, and they were asking something in Finnish from Shady, and then Shady was, English, please, English, please. Not for him, but for him.
Bruh.
Bro, I was super fucking confused. But it didn't particularly matter. I just hope that was not a nuisance to anyone that I interacted with at the tournament. But yeah, Shady was a real cool guy. He was really chill. We chatted for a bit before the match and after the match, and he we chatted about Guilty Gear, and it came up that he's not a big fan of Soul, and he felt like Soul should get nerfed even further. And I was like, shit, I'm a bad man, huh? But yeah, it was a good time. He was a chill dude. Same all right. Both of the players were that I lost to were really cool, and they won deservingly so. I got with Shady, the matches were closer than with Alright, mostly because of the fact that Shady himself was fairly shaky at Grand Blue. So I took a match, I took one, and then I'm pretty sure I almost won the second game, and then I started getting dismantled because he started getting his pressure off, and I won. No, I'm pretty sure I lost the first game. I won the second one because I checked his pressure with DP, and I lost the last match to him doing a fast fall and blocking the DP instead of doing his pressure. He checked me in the very, very last moment of the match or the set by beating out the one option that I had beat him before with.
Yeah.
And that was my run at the Grand Blue. I got swooed by a whirlwind boy. I got my shit kicked in by a girl that has a bunch of sheep coming out, and then Narmaya was the only one that lost to me.
But did you have fun?
I had a good time. I overall enjoyed my time at Install. It was fairly reminiscent, if not more expensive this time around, but fairly reminiscent of my previous. This was not my first local or offline tournament. I don't think we mentioned that, but I had been to a different Install before. I had been to Install 2018, which was far closer to where I live, so it was easier to get there. It was cheaper at the time as well. Like the tournament entry fee was nothing. You just had to sign up for the tournament, I'm pretty sure, and then you could get into any of the tournaments. And then there was also the part where I didn't have to take a train to get there, and also sleep at an Airbnb slash
Yeah,
hostel.
and
Yeah.
go find your friend because they're so fucking lost trying to navigate Helsinki.
Bro got lost in the
I
center of
I'm dead
Helsinki.
ass. Like I've so many times like I've said how
Oh,
I am the worst when it comes to trying to navigate anywhere. Like I've gotten lost at fucking like family like skiing tracks where it's like it's the easiest shit in the world. Like I cannot navigate anywhere. And
that's
also like there was also the case where I, for whatever reason, literally 2 minutes before my bus was about to arrive, I tried to use the, like I hopped on Google Map and I'm like, all right, let me find the place where I need to go, and it's like, oh, Google Maps is not working. It literally had never had this happen to me before. I'm like, okay, well, let me restart my phone. My phone had some issues, and it literally took me like 10 minutes to restart. I was like starting to panic. I'm like, bro, if I need
yeah.
to be here with like literally my phone not working, I'm fucking boned. And
That would
then
be
like,
awful.
okay, I finally get my phone open. It's like, oh, Maps just doesn't fucking work. And I literally go back to a bus driver. I'm like, dude, this is gonna be a weird request. Can you uh, put this address in and let me take a picture of your phone with the Google Maps there, because mine literally isn't working. And I didn't even get far with that because my ass cannot navigate anywhere. But it was
Yeah.
like, it later turned out like also like two of my other friends, like they had, one of them was in a like festival and one of them was just like in another city, and both of them like said, yeah, like my maps also wasn't working for whatever reason. So I don't know what the fuck that case was, because yours was working fine, right?
Yeah, mine was working perfectly fine. There
So
was no issues.
I don't know what was going on, but like multiple people literally that one day when I needed the like maps, like it had some issues there, and I don't fucking know what that was about, but yeah, you just came to our rescue. We made it to Malta. We uh, the shop that was supposed to be there was not there, but there was a one like decent ways about, so that
Yeah.
was still fine. But overall, like a very, very good experience.
It was.
Anyways,
I've never actually been to a hostel of any kind, so it was kind of an interesting experience on my behalf, like for
yeah,
that.
but yeah, I want to check. I want to check like, well, how many of my things actually align with what I said. So I guess like first I became a uh,
Combo
combo
video.
video, then we uh, played with Northhard, and then we I got put into a combo video again, and then here all like also I was the also wait, I said that, where is it? Yeah, I said I mixed these up like these two when I said like I played Northhard in the first, and then I played the other person, and actually like M1 was the caster. I remember I played them in second, but I was like, wait, did they? So yeah, M1 was the one casting with Arat, not Northard,
Yeah.
who was the person who I played in both Dragon Ball. So it was person I played in second, but I remember it was the other way around. But yeah, like I played M1, who was the, I think M1 and Northard both actually played. No, they didn't play Jack. No, M1 played Victor, and I didn't
Oh
know
yeah,
much about
yeah.
Victor. That's all. I was like pretty very worried about this one, but like still like ended up being a 2-0. But like I remember these games were definitely like very close. And then like this was the Oscar player who just sidestepped all my stuff. I got fucking roll, and then they ran into Akuma, and then like in losers bracket I played with Northard, who played Jack because he thought it looked cool. Like Northern was he was such a like chill dude because like Dragon Ball he was just like yeah they were all pink they're cool. Like Jack oh yeah he's a big cool dude, so that was that. And that was 2-1. And then like this was the Lilla player who ended up going relatively far, and then round 5 got eliminated. And then this is funny because I want to check this because literally okay first this was the Catalina player, I played that, then Mary like absolutely destroys me, and then this was a stream game, top 16 to top 8. We open this. Yeah, that's not 16 people. That is absolutely not 16 people.
Come on.
And then fucking
it's just twice as many people.
The thing that will haunt me until the rest of times. And then I would have played against this person who was the like Miri, Jufe, Setsu, and Duhayo were basically like you saw them like they were in if there was a tournament in Finland, like those were the names that you saw. Setsu was also a 6 player, but they clearly like they just like record characters because I remember Setsu was also in the top 8 of Strive, and they played Ram, so I probably just usually liked like those record characters. I think Yuho was a Yule player. I'm pretty sure. I'm like 90% sure that this person was a Yule player. But yeah,
that would have been a good matchup for you.
Yeah, by far the that I had the most experience with. But bro, you remember how I said like did I take a game? Yeah, Miri didn't lose a single game.
Not a single one.
The entire fucking tournament. So
yep.
Yeah, this guy pretty okay. Never fucking mind. Duha Yuha. Actually, no. Never mind. Yeah. Why is everybody's names so fucking similar? What the fuck? But yeah. Most of the stuff that I remember was about how I told it so. Cool. But that was Install.
That was the Install podcast in the middle of the Favorite Things 2024 podcast.
That was an hour and 20 minutes.
About just Install.
Yes. Or so the Install and Grand Blue part. Literally, this square was an hour and 20. But yeah, most of these other things I've talked about already. So it's not the biggest issue, but I will do this, in this, and this. So, like I said, like I didn't talk about Sparking Zero, but this was about content creation, and like Sparking Zero has just been I like having these like consistent series because I struggle with consistency with a lot of things. So like having routines really helps me out. Like that's why like us having the weekly Yu-Gi-Oh thing I thoroughly enjoy. Like Sparking Zero being another thing. Like I'll do a couple episodes a week. Like having these series where it's like okay, well I'm gonna play literally the entire cast. And also like have this challenge there, like okay, we're literally trying to hit everything and with our character from the entire cast. It's a fun challenge. It lets me experience the cast, and it's a fun way to play the game. And it was just a cool idea for a series. So I was like, might as well. But like alongside that, like all the like reactions to stuff that I care about, like the Tekken 8 thing, like Destiny 2, like even other stuff like the I don't even Vane's trailer for Grand Blue, and being like, oh yeah, this is gonna be one of the best characters in the game. Like that
the
reaction
most
is
broken
character, and it's like
fucking 2.0
stinker, like doo-doo ass character.
Bro's got a shield.
It was like all of that stuff, like I said, like obviously like us going through Yu-Gi-Oh the entire year, like,
everything
that was sick. So the middle is just overall for content creation, obviously like the streams and stuff like that I already talked about. And then I always have to say because that's my time to write the timestamp. Marvel, which I didn't talk about much earlier, but you did guess, like you said, Squirrel Marvel Rivals. Marvel Rivals was correct. Like I genuinely, the game that I've had a lot of fun with. It like reminds me of like the beta times and like the launch times of Overwatch, when it's like everyone's kind of like lost, like people aren't really playing meta. Every character feels like really fun, and like the team up abilities, everything like that. I've always liked hero shooters a lot, so it's just really cool. And now like also like this year having become even before this, like having become a Marvel fan is like only elevated my enjoyment. And the reason for becoming a Marvel fan was I'd like for a couple of years now. I think we started it in 2023, like just with a friend. Like we started just watching. Like I was at some point, I remember just mentioning like I wanted to watch Endgame at some point. So we just he's a huge Marvel fan, so we just ended up like, okay, let's just watch, because he knows like, okay, here's the timeline, here's what we need to watch, and in which order we watch the stuff leading up to Endgame. And this year, finally, we got around to finishing Endgame, and like already like on the journey, like I enjoy just easy to watch like action movies. It's just a good fun. Like Marvel also having like a lot of obviously very like pretty corny humor, which some people are definitely not fans of, but like it definitely like I'm a big fan of. So it really works for me, like having these like very cinematic and cool like action movies with some like witty humor.
There's
Like
actually a term used for the type of comedy that exists in Marvel, like the cinematic universe.
not
It's called
slaps.
Whedon-esque.
Whedon-esque. Okay, I don't think I've
Whedon-esque.
heard that
It
before.
is
What does it
a
come from?
derogatory term towards the writer Whedon's style of comedy. It is in nature negative.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you call something Whedon-esque, you're calling it bad because you don't like it.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah, but
just wanted to drop that.
Yeah, that's fine. And I mean, like I said, like I like Borderlands, so pee pee poo poo humor is right up my alley. Like, I mean, I'm 27. I can still laugh at YouTube poops. Although I will say, English YouTube poops are dog shit. Like, Finnish YouTube poops are fucking peak entertainment. English, if it's in English, it's dog ass. Pingus is not funny, but CS is fucking hilarious. And
toast.
Bro, when from Winnie the Pooh, like Al, when he takes the teacup and goes like, "Sus!" It's the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. My friend is actually, I think, like who I always laugh at that shit. And like he's currently making one, and like he asked me what he should make it for, and I just tell him like a Crash of the Titans, because like I've never seen one for that, and he showed me a little bit of a clip, and he got a good chuckle out of it. So I'm excited, looking forward to that. I can still laugh at pee pee poo poo humor. So
I just double checked. Apparently, it's a far older term than from the MCU. It comes all the way from like a specific website that he set up in I can't tell. I think it's 2002. Yeah, 22 years ago. The website itself was called Whedon-esque. And
cool.
that's kind of a funny little thing, considering that this is essentially now used to deride movies and games with this kind of humor.
Yeah,
it's a little sad.
That's pretty funny. But yeah, so I guess that's that about Marvel. So
smash and bash
yeah,
Ultimate.
So Smash Ultimate, I obviously like basically said everything in the like when you were guessing these, like, or we were like doing the brief overview. Like I basically said everything I needed to say about Ultimate. Like I've one of the sickest, like conceptually, like just one of the sickest games of all time. Like it's the impossible crossover. One of my favorite games of all time as well. Like I'm really honestly. When they dropped the Switch 2, I really just give us Smash Ultimate Deluxe, where they do it like Mario Party. It's like, okay, rebalance this shit because Steve needs to go. I'm sick and tired of seeing his dumbass, and just like give us a few more waves of DLC characters so we can get shit like Dante and Monster Hunter in this game. It would be sick.
You think they're gonna get more?
Yeah,
They will never get
I
more.
think it's genuinely like, if Sakurai, I mean, Sakurai obviously, like, he had his YouTube channel thing, which was fucking sick, by the way, for game development. Like, genuinely one of the best resources, honestly, out there. But he had that. He ended it. Would it be? Maybe, because he's like, for the millionth time, is like, yeah, I'm done working with Smash now. Could it be because he's working on the new Smash title? One can only hope. But like, I mean, shit like Cloud being in Smash, like shit like Sora being in Smash, shit like Steve being in Smash, like that's fucking insane. And it's like, it's the greatest crossover game, genuinely super fun game to play as well. Like, with its competitive level, I love watching tournaments, like whether it's playing with friends, like it's super fun. I love Smash Ultimate. It's probably like my top 10 games of all time. It's on there. And this year, like 2024, sick year for tournaments overall. Just like so many good tournaments, so many like sick storylines as well. Like Leo coming back to form, like Sparko should, by all metrics, by all means, should be ranked number 1 this season. So just all of those great tournaments, despite the awful meta we're in, like it's just fucking awesome. And yeah, that's kind of what I have to say about Smash. And for Deadlock, also kind of said everything that I needed to say earlier. It was just like,
went ham.
What ham?
You went ham earlier.
I'm glad I did. We had a 1 hour 20-minute segment about install.
Yep.
This video is 3 hours 15 minutes long.
Yeah.
So
we've been here for 5 hours.
Yes, we have, and I've loved every second of it. But yeah, Deadlock, sick game. Genuinely, like excited to see how it pans out when they actually fully release it. Because obviously, like the game got kind of leaked, and it was not supposed to be publicly known as early as it ended up being. But still, like felt like overall like pretty polished for a game that needed to, or was supposed to have, like basically I think almost a year still before it got like revealed more. So sick game, and got me to actually get to experience the high school times again, where it's just like degenerate, like for hours upon end, just gaming with the boys, like having a good laugh, like just chatting random shit, just honestly, just, you know, just good times. I don't know how else to describe it. Just great fucking times.
I think that's fair.
And then the Shy Extrovert section, once again, like another thing I already talked about, basically everything about the like course. And but these times I'm not gonna do anything because I already, for most of these, like, hey, check the fucking intro thingy. But yeah, like the course, just like learning more about myself as a person and stuff like that. But yeah,
oh boy,
holy shit. I was thinking like do a bit over 2 hours. I was like, honestly, this is probably gonna take a little less than, like, when you were done after like hour and 10, like I literally said like, okay, mine was probably gonna be shorter. I did not realize how long our install segment would be, but I guess like that. Yeah, I guess like this, like being kind of the first time we were actually properly talking about that stuff, it kind of makes sense. So
yeah, we had a separate install segment within the 2012 week.
Yeah, the timestamps are gonna look fucking hilarious, but
just pick out the install segment, release it separately, and just have a void.
It's just layers of a layer. This pod portion for our Yu-Gi-Oh thing, which is a separate, also has a separate section. is
Please no.
no. I won't. I think it's fine, and I kind of like it being just there as the like a big huge chunk of it. I think it's kind of cool to have that in. Yeah, but overall, like this was fun to do, and bro, I can feel my voice fading.
Yeah.
But
I can kind of feel it as well. It's oof.
yeah,
I got to rest quite a bit here, you know.
yeah. I mean,
So
I'm a yapper.
you're
You know
yapping.
how it is
I
at this
can't be helped.
point.
It's
But
it's terminal. I'm sorry.
yeah, but you know what we still haven't covered?
Still have the last one, the
The
mystery one.
final thing we still have the mystery entry on uh Jeexx's 3x3 board.
This was a cop out, guys. Okay, I'm gonna just say this outright right now. I hope you guys weren't excited.
I'm very excited. So
It
shall
should
we?
be up. I
Oh,
mean, I sent it already. It's up. If you scroll up, it's the spoilered one.
oh wait, it is.
There we go. I sent it again.
Oh, there you go.
Hey,
Let me open that. So, and here we go.
it's you. The ninth favorite thing of this year is you. You listening right now. Weebfox, anyone else listening right now. You all. Because I didn't get to say this on my stream. Thank you, everybody, for this entire year. I hope you've had a great year. I hope you've done things that you've set out to do in the beginning of last year. I hope you've managed to get your resolutions in order. I hope you've had a great time in general. And I really appreciate all of these weekly Yu-Gi-Oh segments, especially as they get further and further, because it means that I get more stream content and I get to kind of start flexing my own like card knowledge and my own understanding of the game, even if it leads to me getting 1-2'd because I hard break game one and I don't have anyways. But let's ignore that. But like overall, I've had a great time doing the Yu-Gi-Oh series for this last 2 years, and I think especially like I think this year, even though like in the first year we had a lot of highlights, I think this second year we've got more into the game and there's more things in the game that are interesting. I can't speak for you, but like there's been more archetypes that I've tried that I've been like, okay, this has actually been kind of fun. Like even in the first year I had specifically like what's it called again? Golem Sentry, which like influenced my entire goat deck. And I feel like I can't pinpoint a specific deck right now off the top of my head, but I for 100% I can say that I fucking hate windups. Oh yeah,
Yeah, I
I
think we can both agree on that. But
yeah. But that was really it. Like I just wanna say I appreciate you and anybody watching this and everybody that comes hang out on twitch.tv/Jeexx or twitch.tv/Weebfox. Thank you everybody for this past year.
dude, getting emotional was not on my bingo card for doing this.
Uh,
But
I'm glad it worked out. I was worried that this was gonna feel like a cop out because I was sitting there thinking, what have I done? I've spent so much time streaming a bunch of random things, and I've played so many things, and I've gone to multiple places this year that I didn't expect to go, and I felt like I couldn't figure out a ninth, but I felt like this was probably the most appropriate.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, honestly, I don't know what else and what better things to say about that. That was awesome. And God, fucking damn it.
Hang in there.
I'm glad that you've also had fun doing these things. So
Yeah, and I hope to have more in the coming year.
yeah. And I also think like part of like why it's been like I also think like this second year has also been like a highlight not only like having more interesting archetypes just because obviously early Yu-Gi-Oh like there weren't really archetypes, it was just you played
I
your
summon
mechanical
Aquamador.
chaser and it's bigger than your opponent's thing until there's a Gemini elf that's actually bigger than your mechanical chaser, and that's all there is to it. With obviously like a bunch of like powerful uh, spell traps, and like then it went more to the archetype side, which is what I like about Yu-Gi-Oh. And then also like us like having like these more like rules change, like okay, like now we actually have access to a little bit more stuff. Okay, now we actually have a little bit more leeway in this and that. Like I think like I think we've done a pretty good job in like keeping it interesting and like the with all the rules change and stuff like that. And I
Yeah.
feel like they fit.
There was a time when it felt like, oh, this is a little confusing to explain to somebody like in stream, because whenever I explained it, it felt like, oh, he didn't get it, he didn't understand it. But like, for example, Cloudy, the person that like I know likes building the weirdest shit, he straight up went like, oh, that's cool, I like that. That's a good way of building a deck. You just get like a bunch of random keywords alongside a set, and now you get to take the keywords and take any card within those keywords as long as you're playing it in your deck, and that's great. That's cool. He liked it,
Yeah,
and I think that speaks volumes
yeah,
for
that's great to hear. That is
yeah.
great to hear. But yeah, honestly, uh, I don't really have anything else to say other than thank you. Back to you, obviously, like for doing a lot of these like great things. I would like stuff like this, and just like having these weird ideas, and then like you going actually like putting a lot of effort and going through them with me, like stuff like that, stuff like the Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, like all of that. Like I've had a blast doing that. Looking forward to continuing that as well. And like Jeexx said, like all of you, everybody who's like watched anywhere, like it's obvious, like but this stuff is fun to do for us regardless, but it obviously like it makes it feel more meaningful, and we appreciate that.
Oh yeah, I'm glad to hear. I also appreciate you actually coming up with kind of bizarre ideas sometimes, very unique, very strange, out of the box ideas, like discussing our favorite things of a year. I've never heard of this concept
Yeah, I
before.
mean, and like making it a 3x3, like this sort of like board like that, also like only a creative
Rare,
genius like myself could come up with
truly,
that stuff.
truly.
Yeah, and like doing reactions to things like if you, yeah, I'm definitely a creative genius, and like the VTuber song thing, and like doing stuff like that, like people submitting things on Song Battle.io and using that for content. Yeah, all of the
Ludwig
like
2.0, fellas.
all of these super unique ideas. No, but no matter how like we ended up where we ended up, like all this stuff like has been a ton of fun to do. I'm looking forward to having even more fun things in 2025. So it's been awesome. But yeah, like I'm like I said, like I'm literally losing my voice. So once again, leave it to you, Jeexx, to send us off. And the final thing that I will say is that one more time, thank you all so very much for an amazing 2024, and we hope that you have an amazing new year in 2025 overall, and we hope to see you here and on Jeexx stream once again. So thank you so much for all of your support, and now Jeexx, send us into the new year.
Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. I hope you had a great time listening to this behemoth of a podcast. I'm sorry we talked about fighting games for so long. I've been following a podcast for years where people absolutely hate that. I apologize. It was not my fault, though. But yes, thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. I hope your new year comes in calmly. Nothing big happens, okay? Okay? Just take it easy. But yes, take care, and we will see you in the next year. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Happy New Year's.